And welcome out to Montgomery Field as your Xenia Scouts are set to take on the Grand Lake Mariners in Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League action. We're getting started right away here as Lee Solomon is at the dish. First pitch from Austin Rodeski. The button is shown, but it goes a bit high. Counts now 1-0. Thank you for joining Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, for your coverage of Xenia Scouts baseball here on a beautiful night at Montgomery Field in Salina, Ohio. 1-0 count to Lee Solomon. That one misses outside, 2-0. Webcam looks a little different tonight. We're sitting right on the first base line. Scouts coming off that 8-0 victory at the Pipe Yard last night over the Ironman, their biggest of the year. 2-0 pitch goes right down the center for a strike. 2-1 now to the shortstop.
He comes into the day hitting .268 and was recently named one of the All-Stars for the Scouts.
6 scouts named to the All-Star team. We'll get to those later. 2-1 pitch to Lee. Bunt shown, bunt laid down, is bouncing towards Rodeski on the mound, and he is going to be in there in time. Bunt single for Lee Solomon. That one took a couple of dribbles in the field turf infield here at Montgomery Field. Infield is field turf, outfield is grass, and Solomon on that turf able to speed it out, get a leadoff single.
And that one just really died off the bat. Just enough contact there from Solomon to have it just trickle down in front of the plate, and he's in there safely with the bunt hit single.
Now Christian Binger up to the plate. Pick up attempt. Solomon back in time from the throw from the righty, Austin Rodeski. Rodeski, an Oiler from Findlay University, originally from Bowling Green, Ohio. He has a 3-3 record this year, 5.40 ERA. First pitch inside of Binger. That one's going to go for a ball as Binger has to back up. 1-0 now to the second baseman. Lee Solomon gets his lead at first base. One-0 pitch, and that one goes a bit low. 2-0 now to Christian, the league leader in walks with 26 on the season. Lee Solomon, team's leader in stolen bases with 10 on the year. Picked up one last night, pickoff attempt, and he's back in time to the first base bag. Two count to Christian. Rodeski gets ready. Here comes the throw, and that one's in there, inside corner for a strike.
Binger comes into the day hitting .280, good for second on the team.
Robert Greenman behind the plate for the Mariners today. Also named to the All-Star team this afternoon. That one misses low. 3-1 now to Binger, is looking for walk number 27 of the season. And Austin Rodeski on the mound. We're here in Salina, Ohio. Scouts looking for victory number 20 on the season. The lefty Binger against the righty Rodeski. And it's going to be an strike inside. And Lee Solomon swipes second. Originally, I thought they were going to call it inside for a ball. It was a called strike to make it a full count. But Lee Solomon on the move regardless. Gets to second for his 11th steal on the year. So a runner on second base, no outs here on the top of the first inning between the Scouts and the Mariners. Payoff pitch incoming to Christian Binger. Here comes the throw from Rodeski, and that one is a bit high, and that's going to be walk 27 on the year for Christian Binger to lead the league.
Yeah, Christian does just an amazing job up at the plate. Has composure no matter what the count. It could be 0-2, it could be 3-2. He's going to approach it the same way and gets on base once again.
21st walk on the year from Rodeski. In his last start, through 5 innings against the Galleon Graders, he had 8 walks in that contest, so nearly half of his season total. That brings up Kyle Carnahan. Mr. Hot Corner takes the first pitch for a strike. 1-1 now to Kyle.
Kyle, another one of the Scouts that was named to the All-Star team, just as the other Washburn-Ichabod, David Gaunt, was on deck.
Kyle with 6 home runs on the season, second on the team in RBIs with 19 as well. Solomon on second, Binger on first. Here's the pitch from Rodeski. That one just misses. That's going to even up the count at 1 apiece to Kyle Carnahan. Scouts in game 35 of the season, And Kyle has played every single inning at third base. He hasn't missed a pitch this season. Here comes the next throw from Rodeski and pick off a 10 towards first, and Binger in back in time, and Lee Solomon's going to swipe third. Heads up base running from Lee Solomon. So now there'll be runners on the corners with no outs for Kyle Carnahan. So 2-1 now to Carnahan. And the next start from Oscar Rodeski. That one's a bit high. 3-1. In danger of walking back-to-back batters here in the top of the first. It's a 0-0 score as we have just got underway here. First pitch was around 7:05. Banger gets his lead at first. Solomon stands off the third base back. 3-1 count now to Carnahan. That was when he swung on and driven towards left field, and we put away. Lee Solomon tags up, and he's going to score without a throw from Matt Smith. So 1-0 Scouts after the sac fly RBI. 20th RBI in the season for Carnahan.
And that was all made happen because Solomon swiped 2 bases, was able to swipe second. Of course, would have been advanced to second anyway as Christian Binger got on with a walk, but then they check on Christian over at first, and Solomon sees that, gets on his horse, and gets over to third easily to swipe third. So Solomon's speed made that play happen.
A lot of small ball there. Lee Solomon lays down a bunt, steals a couple of bases, and his sac flown in on a deep ball to left field. First pitch to David Gunn, misses outside for a ball. As mentioned earlier, David Gunn also named to the All-Star team today. The Scouts will be representing the Southern team. Next pitch to Gunn, that one. And there for a strike, 1-1, evened up to the catcher from Washburn University, originally from Topeka, Kansas. Gunn's having a great season. Was going through a little bit of slump. It's been better the last few days. 30 RBIs and 7 homers on the year. As Binger is back in plenty of time to first base. Got 1 RBI off the league lead, held by Andy Young of the Hamilton Joes, tied with him with those 7 dingers. 1-1 count. That was he swung on and missed. He's way early. Another pick off a 10 towards first, and Binger is gunned down. Nice throw from Greenman.
And that'll be the first time Christian Binger is caught stealing of this season and just was a little too far off the bag, and Greenman noticed it and threw him out.
Yeah, I don't know if Christian's sleeping a little bit there. Not very sure that we've already seen Greenman throw once, so you know he's going to do it. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and that one's low. Even up at 2-2 now to David Gaunt, but Christian just a little too far off that bag, and he had to pay for it. That's the Chippewa. Greenman sits him down, 2-2, and that one's in there for a strike, and that's going to end the top of the first inning as David Gaunt is caught looking on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, but not before Lee Solomon shows off his speed with a bunt single, a couple of steals, and a easy stroll to home plate after being sacrifice flied by Kyle Carnahan, and your Xenia Scouts lead the Grand Lake Mariners after the top of the first by a score of 1-0.
Yeah, it was a strange first inning as Lee Solomon got himself on with the bunt hit single, and then eventually came around to score, and Christian Binger picked off at first on a great pickoff throw from Greenman behind the plate. That's something we've seen a lot of this year in the terms of guys throwing behind the plate trying to check on runners at first. That's the first time we've seen someone actually gone down with that method.
That's going to bring us to the bottom of the first inning. And Q McGrath getting the start on the mound for the Xenia Scouts. The lefty trying to get that 6th win of the season. His last 2 starts, he was unsuccessful against the Lima Locos after going 5 innings, was taken out. The Scouts eventually would lose that game on a walk-off. And then got roughed up in his last start down in Cincinnati against the Steam. The Scouts were able to come back after being down 6-1 to win 11-10 in a firework offensive explosion in McLeary Field against the Steam. Q trying to get that 6th victory now. And Lance, what else can you tell us about the season for the All-Star Q McGrath?
Well, Q's had himself a fantastic season. Hasn't been his normal self his last couple of starts. Still has a 5-0 record. on the season, a 2.72 ERA. This will be his 9th appearance. This will be his 7th total start. He came in relief work against the Ironman the other night back at home at Grady's Field. And actually, I talked to him after the game. He said he warmed up in that spot of the bullpen on purpose so we couldn't see him warming up. Knew that view was obstructed. Wanted to surprise us.
Interesting. Try to keep it, Lance and I, on our toes, which we were. I think our jaws dropped when we saw Q take the rubber in that game. And we'll see how he does against this Grand Lake Mariners lineup. Lance, what's the side coming up for the white and green and blue of the Grand Lake Mariners?
First up will be Tyler Frank.
As first pitch comes in, and that one's a bit high from Q, 1-0.
After Frank, it'll be Alec Turner, the third baseman from Sinclair, and Nick Riscetti, the shortstop from the University of Iowa.
And the second pitch is going to be swung on and head towards center field. Levi Gilcrease is able to put it away after taking only a few steps to his left. The only 2 pitches, and Tyler Frank, the Bronco from Western Michigan, is put away. That's going to bring Alec Turner. And Turner, familiar to the Xenia Scouts, as we've seen him go long ball against the Navy and Gray before, back when these two teams played at Grady's Field. Alec Turner set one over the left field wall. First pitch from Quinton. That one's fouled to the right side. As you can see at home, you can't see first base or into right field. And don't worry, Lance and I are having troubles with that ourselves here. As of, like we mentioned, we are on the first base line here, the press box at Montgomery Field in Salina, Ohio. Second pitch in there for a strike. Turner thought it was a little too far inside, but it's going to be 0-2 now with his back against the wall.
Fun thing is, with our location, we can actually see how the batters react to the pitches.
Here comes that 0-2 pitch. That one's up top. Turner's got the limbo his way out of there. 1-2 now from McGrath. Came in today with 30 strikeouts on the year, 7th best in the league. That one's going to be swung on and hit towards left or right center field. Miles right on his way back, and so watch it bounce past him. Levi Gilcrease actually picks it up, throws it towards second. Cut off by Christian Binger, and it's going to be easy double for Alec Turner, whose success against the Scouts continues.
One out, one on.
Yeah, Turner was 1 for 3 against the Scouts coming into the day. That one hit being that home run he hit off Tony Campbell. That was actually Tony Campbell's first appearance, first batter he had faced with the Scouts. And Turner took him deep to left field.
It's going to be Nick Rossetti, batting .392 on the year. The Hawkeye from Iowa. The first pitch to him misses outside, 1-0. Hugh trying to rebound after getting that double to Alec Turner, the third baseman from Sinclair Community College in Dayton. Second pitch to Rossetti in there for a strike, 1-1 now. Rossetti, a big shortstop, stands tall in the batter's box. Hugh the lefty, again looking for that 6th win of the season. 1-1 pitch, and that one's be swung. Bounces off the glove of Zach Wiley, who's behind the plate today for the Scouts. Scouts in their navy and blue, or excuse me, navy and gray, with the white trim around their numbers. Get a close look at the batter's box today. This is the closest we've been all season to home plate in the press box. 1-2 count from McGrath. Here's his delivery. That one's to be swung and fly it out to left center field. Jonathan Bravo getting under it, and we'll put it away in left center. So 2 down now in the bottom of the first inning. Scouts still leading 1-0 after Lee Solomon scored in the top half of the inning.
And Central Michigan University, number
So
15,
from
Robert
one All-Star
Greenman.
to another, that'll bring up Robert Greenman, also named one of the All-Stars off of the Grand Lake Mariners.
A lot of MAC representation on this Grand Lake Mariners team. Greenman, a Chippewa from Central Michigan. Game today batting .291 on the season. Q stands on the right side of the rubber, looking towards home plate. Here's the throw, and that one's way up top. 1-0 to Greenman.
And also, we have roommates at their host families throwing to each other, so Q and Wiley have had a little bit of personal time that some of the other guys might not have had.
Q rises and fires. That one's going to be fouled back towards the backstop. Decently deep backstop here at Montgomery Field, home of the Salina Bulldogs, their high school team. team in the Western Buckeye League. Alec Turner standing on second base. He doubled earlier in the inning. 2 outs. 1-0 Scouts lead. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and that one's going to be fouled back. Freeman a bit ahead of that one. Skims off the top of the bat. Scouts now 1 strike away from getting out of the first inning. Q looks at his room. It's Zach Wiley behind the plate. Looks to second now, throws home. That one's going to be fouled back again. As Greenman is trying to stay alive here, catch up to Q McGrath.
Greenman 1 of 3 against these Scouts. A .291 average coming into the day.
So 3-3-3 against the Scouts coming into this at-bat. Again, named an all-star. Here comes the pitch. That one's going to be swung but foul, just barely. So we have a perfect view of it from up here in the press box. That one just curved left. Cannot walk that tightrope on the third base foul line. Unfortunate break for Greenman. And we'll do it again at 1-2 from Q. Looks home. Now he fires. That one's going to be fouled right back towards us.
That's definitely something I'm not used to.
I wonder if that's going to come across the webcam. It's going to be right in your monitor screens at home all around the country. Luckily, we have a screen up here. That might have just saved Lance's life.
It's a very strong possibility.
Q licks that second, throws home. That one's going to be shot foul again. And a great at-bat right now from Robert Greenman. Catcher's doing everything he can to just stay alive. Try to keep the bottom of the first inning extended. The Scouts leading this contest 1-0. Lee Solomon scored back in the top of the inning. Alec Turner doubled, is on second right now. 2 outs, 2 strikes against Robert Greenman. That one bounces in there off of the catching equipment of Zach Wiley. Goes a little bit away, but nothing that Turner can work with to try to take third. So it'll be evened up 2-2 to the catcher.
And last Friday against the Southern Ohio Copperheads, we watched Zach Wiley gun out 3 runners, so it'd be a little foolish to try and steal on him.
And he was 3 for 4 in that one, 2-2, and that one's low. Make it 3-2, a full count for Q McGrath.
Greenman definitely working his way around the count, has fouled off a lot of pitches, definitely waiting for the one he wants.
And the payoff pitch is incoming. Robert Greenman steps in the box, waves the bat. Here comes that payoff, and that one's inside for a walk-in. Alec Turner's going to easily stroll to third as it got past Zach Wiley. So things go from bad to worse for the Xenia Scouts. So not only is Robert Greenman walked after an outstanding at-bat,
Number 21, Dalton Bullinger.
but Alec Turner has advanced to third on the pass ball, and that brings up Dalton Bollinger, the Rocket from Toledo University.
Bullinger also one of the all-stars from the Mariners, hitting .324 coming into the day.
Went to Riverside High School. First pitch. Swung and tip backwards. 0-1. Q still being aggressive on the mound. Here in the bottom of the first inning, Scouts lead 1-0 with the Grand Lake Mariners. Scouts in the middle of that long streak of playing game after game. They haven't had a rest since Friday when their game against the Southern Ohio Copperheads is rained out. And playing ever since then. Next pitch is a bit high. Evens up at 1-1 to the first baseman. Alec Turner sitting on third. Robert Greenman on first. Turner doubled and Greenman walked. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 score. Pickoff attempt and plenty of time. Greenman gets back. And we'll do it again. Evened up at 1-1 to the first baseman. Here comes the southpaw's pitch. He got him swinging a little head on that one. 1-2 now as Q took something off of it.
Yeah, Q definitely took a little off that. Saw Bollinger was sitting on his fastball, and that's take a little off it. Isn't able to catch up.
Once again, Q 1 strike away of getting out of the first inning. He rises and fires, and that one's going to be fouled again, this time to the opposite direction. First base foul territory and out of play. We saw it with Robert Greenman. trying to stay alive, and he did so and eventually got a walk out of it after an outstanding at-bat. Here's the 1-2 again. That time he gets some swinging, and that's going to do it for the first inning. The Mariners threaten, put 2 on, but both are going to be left stranded on islands as Q McGrath strikes out Dalton Bollinger swinging, and we'll go to the top of the second.
Gives the fans a chance to get familiar with the
Good inning there from Q. He did allow Turner to get on with a double that went all the way back to the outfield wall. But outside of that, has done a good job. He did his best to get past Greenman. Greenman just kept working the count, fouled off pitch after pitch. When it was outside, he would take it, and eventually drew a walk. So Greenman with a great at-bat, but he's eventually stranded on first as Q works out of the damage.
Scouts lead 1-0. Thank you for joining Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, here in Salina, Ohio at Montgomery Field. Montgomery Field goes 325 to left, 316 to right, and it doesn't say to center, but Lance and I are guesstimating about 380-ish, so not the biggest park in the world. As we mentioned, a high school field of the Salina Bulldogs. Austin Rodesky on the mound, the Findlay Oiler.
You are correct. He was not born in Atlanta, Georgia.
Gave up 1 earned run back in that first inning after Lee Solomon bunt singled, stole 2 bases, and was sacrificed home by Kyle Carnahan to left field to give us our 1-0 lead. And Lance Hughes coming out for the Scouts here in the top of the second inning.
Coming out for the Scouts here, the top half of the second inning. Be a little different lineup than we've seen. Normally it'll be Cale Giddings getting the start at first base today. He's from Lake Erie College. Then it'll be Zach Wiley, the catcher from Union University, and then Levi Gilcrease, the center fielder from Baylor University.
As Coach Bubba Case takes his stroll to the third base coach's box. Scouts looking for their second straight victory after winning 8-0 against the Lorain County Ironmen up at the Pipe Yard last night. They are third in the league standings coming into tonight. We'll have score updates from around the league throughout this game. Rodesky on the mound, rises and fires. Cale, big swing and a miss. Cale Giddings, who we've nicknamed Paul Bunyan, brings his axe to the plate, but can't get any wood on that ball. 0-1 count now from Rodesky. Here's the next one. That one's in the turf. Cale able to hold up to even up at 1 apiece.
Cale 262 coming into the day was 1 for 2 against the Mariners last time these teams played on that doubleheader back at Grady's Field.
1-1 count. Here comes the pitch. Swung and missed. That one was low. Excuse me, I thought the previous one was called a ball. I guess it was a strike, and that's going to be it for Cale Giddings. I thought he was able to hold up.
On that either.
I thought he held up. I didn't see a strike called, but 3 straight strikes to Cale Giddings, and that sits him down.
For Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Number 24, Zach Wiley.
Here comes Zach Wiley sporting a brand new bat. That one misses high. 1-0 now to the catcher. Zach Wiley went 1 for 1 yesterday with a walk. Next one in there for a strike. 1-1.
Wiley hitting 184 on the season. Does have 1 RBI and didn't play in either of the first 2 games against the Mariners.
And here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one curves back into the zone. Nice pitch from Rodesky. And Wiley is down to his last strike after Cale Giddings went down. If you go back to the top of the first inning, 2 straight strikeouts from Rodesky. Here's the 1-2. Swung and missed. It's going to be in the turf, but Greenman easily fires to first base, and that's going to sit down another batter. So 3 straight strikeouts.
Rodesky had 24 coming into the day, so it's known to strike out a batter or 2, and he's done 3 straight dating back to last inning. And not the guy you're not going to strike out in Levi Gilcrease, Zach's brother.
And he stands on the first base line. First pitch to Levi, back at the dish, goes outside for a ball.
Levi 217 on the season.
He's got struggling here in the top of the second inning, still up 1-0. 1-0 pitch is swung and tipped backwards right in front of us. Evened up at 1-1.
Levi 2 for 4 against the Grand Lake Mariners. Had a double in the last game. It was one of our players of the game. Miles Wright was the other one.
Levi had a double last night that they just ripped into the left center gap. That time he swings and takes it towards center field for a bloop single. As Brad Bosch just couldn't get to it. Rocco with not enough fuel to be able to go over and grab that one, and that's going to be a single for Gilcrease, the speedster from Baylor.
Yeah, Gilcrease just flipped that one out into short center field, and that was all he needed to do. And now he's on first base with 2 down. 8 steals for Levi on the season, so the opportunity presents itself. Could definitely be on the move.
Be a risky play of 2 outs, but he gets his lead. Jonathan Bravo now at the plate. First pitch to Bravo, low and away. Jonathan has 7 RBIs on the year. The left fielder from Texas Wesleyan, batting .250 on the season. And Gilcrease is on the move. That one's in the turf, so the hit and run was on, but Gilcrease easily going to be able to advance to second.
So now he is tied with Miles Wright for 9 stolen bases on the season. Would be tied with Lee Solomon, but had himself 2 steals in the opening inning.
So Jonathan Bravo back at the plate. 1-1 count. Here comes the pitch, and that one's low again. 2-1 now from Rodeski to Bravo. Levi Gilcrease in scoring position. Scouts up 1-0. Here in Great Lakes League action. Here comes the 2-1. That one misses low and to the right again. 3-1 for Bravo. See if he takes here with that 3-1 count. Rodeski looks at Gilcrease on second. Gets a decent lead. Barbosa fakes holding him on. That one's going to be up and out of the zone. So 2-on now with 2 outs for the Xenia Scouts. As Jonathan Bravo is walked on 5 pitches.
He's from Houston, Texas.
That'll be Bravo's 9th walk on the season.
That's going to bring up Miles Wright, the right fielder. Miles goes to St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas, originally from outside Houston and Katy, Texas. Went to Katy Taylor High School. Gilcrease on second. Bravo on first. A lot of speed as that one goes a bit low in the turf. Good grab by Greenman. 1-0 now to Miles. And it seems like Rodeski's missing in a similar spot, most of these batters.
Yeah, Rodeski's been missing ever since getting Kale and Zach Wiley to each strike out. He allows Gilcrease to get on with the hit, and then he walks Bravo.
That's his first walk of the afternoon. That one's bunt shown, but pulled back as that one went high. 2-0 now to Miles. It's going to be second walk of the day. He did walk Christian Binger earlier.
Who hasn't walked Christian Binger this year?
I don't know, 27 on the season. Very interesting to see if he gets to that. Number 30. We don't have any team records for walks, but we're going to put it in there because that's an incredible feat. That one. Check swing, but it doesn't matter. Right down the middle anyway. 2-1 to the right fielder.
Miles has been struggling a little bit as of late. His average has dropped down to 241.
Gilcrease on second. Aggressive base running after matching. Gets put into the outfield. He's going to be trying to score. 2-1 pitch. Also a right down Broad Street. 2-2 now to Miles Wright.
I think Miles knew that as soon as that one crossed the plate. He had the look on his face like, why did I swing at that? We can actually say that because we can see the look on their faces.
Yeah, we're not just guessing now. Right in front of us. And in front of you on the webcam. Rodeski of 2 outs. 2-2 count. Here comes the pitch. That one's going to be hit towards center field and gets to the gap. Levi Gilcrease is going to be on his way home and will score easily. Scouts now up their lead to 2-0 after Miles Wright delivers and gets his 14th RBI of the season on the single right up the middle.
And that's a great job from Miles. With 2 runners on base, hits someone right back up the middle for a base hit. And that's exactly what he needed to jumpstart his game today.
Second earned run for Austin Rodeski on his 3rd hit given up. Lee Solomon comes back up to the dish his second time around, laid down a bunt single in his first at bat. That one misses high. 1-0 to Lee. Scouts, go ahead, Lance.
And you'd got to think that Turner would be ready for that after seeing him bunt last time. Even though there's 2 outs, still the possibility he could lay one down.
He's playing about even with third base right now. 1-0, that one in there for a strike. 1-1 to Lee. Caught the inside corner. Got scoring starting here in the top of the second after Levi Gilcrease singled. Advanced to second on the walk from Jonathan Bravo, then was sent home by Miles Wright, who's now standing on first. That one curves back into the zone. Beautiful pitch. Ronson Rodeski was a strike away from getting out of this top of the second. Scouts leading 2-0 with 2 outs and 2 on. Rodeski, the Oiler from Findlay, stands on the left side of the rubber, delivers the 1-2, chopped off of the looks like ankle or calf area of Lee Solomon. Luckily, Lee doesn't miss leg day, so you know he won't be as hurt. Jonathan Bravo, ran from Texas Wesleyan, gets his lead off of second base. Brad Boss threatening, holding him on, but will not. Miles Wright gets his at first. Here comes the 1-2, and that one's going to be fouled out of play towards Coach Bubba Cates. We'll do it again at 1-2.
That was a nice job to get a piece of that one. Might have reached a little bit as that one was close on the outside part of the plate, but with 2 down, you got to protect yourself a little bit, and he was able to do that and take off that pitch.
So we'll do it again at 1-2. Here comes the delivery. That one's going to be swung on late, chopped over towards Boss as second, throws to his Rocket teammate on first, and that's going to leave 2 on as Solomon is retired. So the Scouts do score a run after Levi Gilcrease singles on a blooper right in front of the center fielder, Frank, and after the walk to Bravo and another single, this time on the grounder variety that snuck into center field by Miles Wright. The Scouts up their lead by a run and now lead 2-0 as Q regains his start on the mound here in the bottom of the second.
And the Corvette is out there near the parking lot. I'm going to mention 10 names here real quick. These were door prize winners. Go to the Mercer Health table to pick out their prize, okay?
Graph here in the second inning of work. Did a pretty good job. The opening inning was worked a little harder than he probably would have wanted to be by Robert Green and Dalton Bollinger. We'll see what he can do with getting close to the bottom of the lineup for the Mariners. Matt Smith, the left fielder from Bowling Green, will lead off this inning, hitting 178 on the season. Then it'll be Ricky Silvestri, the DH from St. Clair Community College. Doesn't have a hit this season, but this is only his second game with the ball club. And then it'll be Hayden Rappaport, the right fielder from Dartmouth College. He's hitting 242 on the season.
From Johnstown, Ohio.
And the second game for Ricky Silvestri, and only his second at-bat. 1-0 for 1 yesterday. And the Mariners lost to the Lake Erie Monarchs. Here comes the first pitch to Matt Smith, and that one outside corner for a strike. Matt, as Lance mentioned, batting 178 on the year. A little surprising, he was second team All-MAC for the Bowling Green Falcons. Q from the windup throws. That one's going to be fouled out of play behind us here at the first baseline press box. 0-2, Q working quickly on the left fielder. Q rises that right knee and misses inside. Good grab by Zach Wiley.
Matt Smith 1 for 6 against the Xenia Scouts. Played both of those games in the doubleheader as a DH.
Here comes the throw from the southpaw. That one also in the turf. Ended up at 2-2. After Q gets ahead, gets even up after patient play at the plate from the left fielder, sporting his green socks and his home white jersey. 2-2 is going to be lined off of the glove of Christian Binger. And that's going to be ruled a single. That's right. Fires back into Cale Giddings. It was a screamer bouncing the turf right in front of Christian. Would have been very, very, very tough play to make. You know that's not going to make Christian feel any better about it, but will not be counted as error, will be counted as a hit for the left fielder.
Yeah, that one screamed right past Q on the mound and kept screaming towards Christian Binger at second, and that was so hot he wasn't able to get his glove on it but to convert the play, but it's going to be ruled a hit.
And here comes Ricky Silvestri as there's a pickoff attempt towards Smith on first. The second Tartan from Sinclair Community College we've seen in the starting 9 for the Grand Lake Mariners. First pitch to him. That one misses low for a ball. First lefty we've seen of the day for the Mariners. And again, this is only the second at-bat of this season for Silvestri in the DH role. That one right down the center for a strike, 1-1. Scouts holding on to this 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second inning. No outs. And Matt Smith standing off the first base bag. Pickoff attempt, but just to keep him honest over there, not a lot of velocity on that pickoff. And now Q will have to come back home to the plate. And it's even count at 1-1 to Ricky Silvestri. Q with his signature pink glove. Looks at first, now home. Again, a pickoff attempt towards first. A little more on that one, but still in plenty of time is Matt Smith. Q looks back home, now throws the 1-1 pitch, and that one misses up top. 2-1 now from Q.
So Q appears to be struggling just a little bit here in the second inning as he allowed Smith to get on with the hit and is falling behind on Silvestri.
Scouts up 2-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. 2-1 goes low to make it 3-1 to Ricky Silvestri. And this is his second at-bat for the Mariners. Love to make that second at-bat his first appearance on the bases of the season. 3-1 pitch. Here it comes. That one's going to be fouled backwards as it gets towards the stands to the left of us. Make it a full count. Here on the year of a 2.72 ERA. At 39 2/3 innings pitch. He's been the workhorse, the number 1 for the Xenia Scouts, and an all-star with those 5 wins. Payoff pitch is fouled backwards. We'll do it again with a full count. Mariners on a 3-game losing skid. Would love to end that against the Scouts. Both these teams in the thick of the playoff hunt. Coming today, Scouts are 3rd, Mariners were 5th. He looks at first. Here comes the full count pitch again. That one's going to be driven towards Jonathan Bravo in left field, but right at him. That one came on a bullet, but gravitated right to the glove of the left fielder. Didn't even have to move barely. And it was a solid swing from Silvestri, but it's put away regardless.
Yeah, Bravo didn't have to move too much out there and left to wrangle in that one off the bat of Silvestri. It looked like he could be trouble off the bat, but nonetheless, Bravo was able to easily get under that one for a routine play out and left for the first out of the inning.
And here comes the Ivy Leaguer Hayden Rappaport, the right fielder from Dartmouth. That one's going to be fouled back behind us. 0-1 now. Came in today batting .242. Scouts still leading 2-0 here at Montgomery Field. Thank you for joining Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, on a beautiful Thursday afternoon in Salina, Ohio. Pickoff attempt faked. A pump fake action by Quentin McGrath on the mound. Quentin from East Central University in Ada, Oklahoma, originally from California. That one was driven towards center field. Levi Gilcrease takes a few steps back and puts it away. And will now be throwing to first, and Matt Smith will now have to get there a little faster. So now 2 down in the bottom of the second for the Mariners.
Matt Smith wasn't thrown out over first, but very well could have been. I think Levi held off a little bit on that one. Just wanted to warn Matt Smith of the impending danger if he tried to run on it.
We've seen an error in that situation before from Levi Gilcrease. I remember after that his brother, Zach Gilcrease, the first base coach, had a talk with him. I think more of those throws are to intimidate base runners more to get the players out. Here comes Brad Boston. That one's going to be bunted towards Kyle Carnahan at third, and he cannot play, so a bunt single, beautifully laid down by Boss. The second bunt single we've seen on the day between these two squads. Lee Solomon had one to start off the contest, and now Brad Boss lays one now to put runners on first and second.
So Boss just kind of did the same thing Miles Wright does up at the plate. He looked down to third, saw Carnahan was playing really deep, and even though there's two down, he knew he had enough time to lay down the bunt as long as he placed it properly, and he did just that, and he's on first base with the bunt hit single.
That's going to bring up the center fielder, Tyler Frank. He flew out to center field and Levi Gilcrease last time. First base foul backwards towards the backstop. 0-1 now.
Tyler Frank with one home run on the season. That was also against the Xenia Scouts back at Grady's Field.
Scouts up 2-0 here in the bottom of the second inning over the Grand Lake Mariners, looking for win number 20 on the season. 0-1 pitch from Q. Gets the top of the strike zone. Broke down just enough to get the call from the home plate umpire. Now one strike from getting out of this danger. The Mariners did leave two on back in the bottom of the first inning. Here comes that 0-2. That one's been swung on and missed. And it's deja vu in inning number 2 as the Mariners strike out swinging and leave two aboard.
For the Mariners, in the bottom of the second.
So the differences were they had 2 hits that inning compared to the first inning. Everything else basically the same. A couple guys reach with hits, but nonetheless the inning ends with a strikeout, so that makes 2 on the day for Q.
And I'll put him up to 32 strikeouts on the season for McGrath. Again, looking for his 6th win of the year. Again, already leads the league with 5 and has for quite some time now, as he hasn't gotten decisions in his last 2 starts. No one else in the league has been able to catch up in that time, and Q trying to expand on his league lead with number 6 tonight. So we'll go to the top of the third inning with the Xenia Scouts leading 2-0 here in Salina, Ohio at Montgomery Field against the Grand Lake Mariners. This is the 3rd game of the season between these two teams. They'll do another one tomorrow right here again at Montgomery Field tomorrow at 7:05. First time these two teams met, it was a doubleheader that was split. Scouts won the first one in 7, and then the Mariners won 5-3 in 9, and that one was a close game. Lee Solomon had a deep drive to center field that could have tied things up in the bottom of the 9th, but it was a beautiful catch by Bentz, who is not playing so far in today's contest, put that one away, and ended the Scouts' hopes of a sweep. And we're coming to the top of the 3rd inning. Lance, who's coming up for the side for the Scouts.
For the Scouts, it'll be 2-3-4, led off with second baseman Christian Binger. Then it'll be third baseman Mr. Hot Corner, Kyle Carnahan, and then David Gahn, the designated hitter.
Coach Case gets to his box. Rodesky on the mound again. That one's going to be popped up high between short and left field. Matt Smith is going to call for Zeddy and makes it 1 up, 1 down as Christian Binger uncharacteristically swinging at the first pitch.
Yeah, I would venture to say that's definitely in the single digits the number of times that's happened. Probably below 3 if I were a betting man.
Yeah, you definitely can count on the number of times on your hand. You can choose left or right how many times Christian Binger has swung at a first pitch this season. And that's going to bring Kyle Carnahan, who had a sac fly RBI his first bat. Shows bunt, lays it down. Rodesky picks it up, throws to first, and just got him in time. Good play by Rodesky to throw out Carnahan, who is now 0 for 1 on the day.
That was a very well laid down bunt by Carnahan. Just wasn't quite quick enough to beat that out. It was a very good bunt off the bat, but just wasn't meant to be that time at the plate.
Dream inning so far for Austin Rodesky. 2 pitches, 2 outs, and you have to imagine David Gahn will be taking here just to avoid a 1-2-3 inning. First pitch will be taken right down the middle for a strike. David struck out looking last time he was up. Strikeouts have been a problem from the catcher from Topeka, Kansas on the year. 0-1 pitch, and that one misses low. Good hold up from Gaunt. 1-1 count.
Yeah, Gunn definitely had to make sure he held up on that one. It broke just outside and into the dirt. It looked like a very appealing pitch to swing at.
We'll do it again. 1-1. That one's very similar type. Broke a little late. Now 2-1 to Gaunt. Gaunt, of course, from Washburn University, had a chance to play for the Texas Rangers. They contacted him, declined them for being drafted in this year's MLB draft. 2-1, misses outside. 3-1, he elected to stay with his team at Washburn University and finish out his senior season. Rodesky on the rubber in his Nike cleats, trying to get out of the top of the third inning, but will walk David Gaunt, and after getting an initial strike, 4 straight balls, puts the designated hitter on.
The first baseman
And for Gaunt on the season, that'll be his 19th walk.
Which is second on the team to Binger. And that'll be walk number 3 for Rodesky. He now has 23 on the season and 11 in his last 2 ball games. Cale Giddings at the plate, struck out in 3 pitches last time. Now misses high, 1-0. Well, 3 of those pitches against Giddings the first time around were low in the turf that he couldn't hold up on. David Gaunt gets his lead at first base, and that one misses low, 2-0 to Cale.
You got to think maybe Rodesky remembers that as he's trying to do the same kind of thing, and force Cale to chase.
Scouts up 2-0 here in the top of the third inning against the Grand Lake Mariners. Trying to get win number 20 on the year. That one's be swung and hit towards deep left center field. Matt Smith is not going to get it. It's actually going to be Tyler Frank that puts it away. And that will do it for the Scouts. They leave one on after Dave has walked. He's left on first base as Cale Giddings shows off his warning track power only towards left center field before it's put away by Tyler Frank.
And when you talk to Cale, that's the epitome of both his summer and his collegiate season. Says that's I think he said during his college season that happened upwards of 7 times where he would just get to the wall and right near the warning track and just die, and guy would either make a great catch or it would just hang up a little too far and it would just be another routine fly just deeper into the outfield. So it's happened a lot for Cale, but that just means he's due and it's got to happen soon.
So a very quick inning. Austin Rodesky got Christian Binger to fly out to left, and then a bunt put out against Kyle Carnahan on 2 pitches. Put the Scouts against their backs against the wall. And a 5-pitch walk to David Gaunt. And a 3-pitch fly-out to Cale Giddings, making it a 10-pitch inning for Austin Rodesky. And Q McGrath will come back out to the mound for his 3rd inning of work. Remember, in his last start, he only went 3 2/3 inning before he was replaced after giving up 6 earned runs against the Cincinnati Steam in his worst start of the year. Looked much better in his relief effort back at Grady's Field when he came in the 8th inning. He only pitched 1 inning, got 1 strikeout, and didn't allow any runs. Did allow a double.
And it'll be the 2-3-4 hitters for the Mariners. It'll be led off by Alec Turner, the 3rd baseman from Sinclair. Then it'll be Nick Rischetti, the shortstop from the University of Iowa, and then Robert Greenman, the catcher from Central Michigan. 2 of those players all-stars.
And his first pitch return, though, is fouled towards the 3rd base line. Turner had a double in his first at-bat. On 1, and that one misses high. 1-1 to Turner now. That was a 1-2 count when Turner was hitting for a double back in the 1st inning. Here comes the next pitch. That one misses away as well, way up in the zone. 2-1 to Alec Turner. Has been a thorn in the Scouts' side this season. Here comes the next pitch from the southpaw. That one's going to be driven towards right field, and Miles Wright puts it away in right field, and the first time that Alec Turner has not gone on base.
And that was a little similar to what he did last time. That one just hung up in the air longer than his first hit did, so it was able to be caught up there in right field by Miles Wright.
And Corsetti back up to the plate. He came into yesterday leading the league in batting average. First pitch to him. Goes for a strike. Struggled a little bit against Lake Erie Monarchs, is now batting .392, just .392 on the season. That drops him down to around 6 in the league. That one misses low. 1-1 to the Hawkeye.
Rossetti now 0 for 5 against the Scouts, counting that flyout back in inning number 1.
So great against the league, but struggled against the Navy and Gray. That one's going to be chopped over towards third, and now down to his last strike is the shortstop. Chu looking for strikeout number 3 of the afternoon. Here comes the 1-2, and he gets it as Rossetti is swinging away, but getting a whole lot of air. And now Q with his third strike of the day puts him at 33 on the season. That's going to bring up Robert Greenman, the catcher from Central Michigan. He walked last time, and an unbelievable at-bat. Was down 1-2, worked all the way back to full. First pitch to him. He swings on the first pitch, and that one's going to right center field past the head of Miles Wright. He's going to pick it up after it bounces off the wall, throws to second, and in plenty of time, despite the slide, as Robert Greenman, so after a complete juxtapose between his first two at-bats, a long walk drawn out back in the bottom of the first inning, and this time first pitch swinging off the fence. That's a great Dalton Bollinger.
I think in Greenman's first at-bat, he realized more so how Q works, and that the first pitch is probably going to be the best one he sees in the at-bat for him to swing at. So he took that one out towards right field and got himself on with a double.
And that's going to bring up Bollinger, who struck out last time to end the bottom of the first inning. That one bounces off of the chest plate of Zach Wiley. Good block from the catcher. Scouts up 2-0 here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Put runs across in innings 1 and 2 to not in number 3. 1-0 pitch. And that one misses that outside corner. Now 2-0 to Bollinger.
Bollinger struck out his first at-bat. He was the first strikeout of the game for Q.
McGrath steps back on the rubber, looks home, checks second, throws. Now as we ground it towards Lee Solomon, picks it up on a couple of hops, throws to first. In time to Cale Giddings. And for the third straight inning, the Mariners will leave a runner on. Now up to 5 runners left on base in the afternoon. And for the second time today, Dalton Bollinger is going to end the inning. So we're going to the top of the fourth inning. The Scouts lead 2-0. Trying to hang on and get 2 straight victories. And the second one coming here at Montgomery Field against the Grand Lake Mariners.
I think so far for Q, we're seeing somewhere in between for his starts. This really isn't his worst start by any stretch. He's gone 3 innings, hasn't allowed a run to come across. But we're not seeing the dominant Q we've seen either. So somewhere in between for Q, and it's just a matter of if he can find ways to keep guys from getting across the plate. He's done just that for the first 3 innings.
Hey, as long as he keeps throwing scoreless innings, Coach Bubba Case is going to keep him in there because there will be no complaints. Thank you for all that are watching our web stream and enjoying your Thursday with Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, as Austin Rodeski comes back to the rubber again. Scouts once again are third in the league standings, sitting outside looking in from the top 2 teams who will get byes. Right now the Hamilton Joes sitting in that number 2 spot. The Lima Locos lead the league. They've won 7 straight games, and they have tonight off.
How can they have tonight off?
Because there's 11 teams in the league, and all the other ones are playing. Someone can't play.
They better all be playing.
They're all playing tonight.
Because you look at the standings, I've got the standings right in front of me. Lima 19-6, the Joes 19-8, and Xenia, us, are 19-15. Do you notice a common denominator in all of those things?
I would say the Scouts have played more games.
I think the Scouts have played more games, and it's not the other team's fault necessarily, because Mother Nature has been coming down hard with the rain, but those teams have got to catch up their games. And if everyone else is playing, then I can't fault Lima too much.
And that's going to bring us to the top of the fourth inning. And Zach Wiley coming back to the dish. He struck out one of the 3 strikeouts on the afternoon for Rodesky. That one missed low, 1-0 to the Bulldog from Jackson University. Swung and chopped that one foul towards Coach Case off of third base.
After Wiley, it'll be Levi Gilcrease and Jonathan Bravo.
The 7, 8, 9 batters all reached. Back in the top of the second inning for the Scouts, starting with the number 6 batter here in Zach Wiley. Next pitch to him just misses a bit high. 2-1 now to the man that wears the mask tonight. 2-0. Scouts lead here in the top of the fourth inning. No one on, no one out. 2-1 pitch. Swung on, chopped towards third base. Picked up by Turner, thrown to first, and in time, plenty of time to Bullinger, and 1 up, 1 down for the Scouts.
1 up and 1 down. That'll bring it to center field.
And that's going to bring up Levi Gilcrease.
He plays for Baylor University, Waco, Texas. Number 6, Levi Gilcrease.
He scored after that single last time. Also had a stolen base. We've seen 3 stolen bases from the Scouts this afternoon. Next pitch. Shows bunt, pulls back. Saw Turner on the hop coming in, but that one was way up top, so Gilcrease couldn't lay down a bunt there. Turner way back. Now he'll come in. Here he comes that one. Shows bunt and lays it down. Who's going to pick it up? Turner's going to pick it up. Tries to barehand throw to first, and not in time. Bunt single for Levi Gilcrease. It was a close play, and the tie went to the runner. And Gilcrease is now 2 for 2 today.
And something we learned about Levi is that during this past season at Baylor, when he was bunting, he went to show a bunt, laid it down, and it popped right back up and hit him in the face. So he's had to overcome a little bit of a mental barrier with his bunting. So that's definitely going to be good for him, knowing that he can lay that down and get a hit like he just did.
4th hit of the day given up by Rodesky. Scouts lead 2-0. And Levi Gilcrease is on the move. Here comes the throw, and off the bag, so a stolen base for Gilcrease. Uncharacteristic from the All-Star Greenman.
So that'll be Levi's 2nd steal of the day. And like you said, the Scouts must see something that they can take advantage of either on the move from Rodesky or on Greenman behind the plate, as they've stolen a lot of bases.
A 1 out of Bravo, who swung at that one. Swings at this one, too. That one's going to be chopped over towards the Mariners' dugout. Quickly 0-2 is Bravo, and you have to think that was a hit-and-run play because Bravo swinging that first pitch well outside the zone, trying to get some contact on it. But regardless, Gilcrease is there after the throw from Greenman was a little off. Of course, Boss over there at second. On Gilcrease trying to score for a second time of this ball game. 0-2 to Bravo. Here comes the pitch. That one's going to be fouled backwards. Out of play. That one was up top. Bravo swung at the high heat, but did get a piece of it to stay alive.
So some score updates. The Galleon Graders and the Hamilton Joes tied at 0-0 in the bottom of the 5th. The Licking County Settlers on top of the Ironmen of Lorain County, 1-0 there in the bottom of the 4th.
Rodesky back on the rubber, throws towards Bravo. That one's in the turf, and Levi Gilcrease will standing get up to third base on the pass ball.
And also around the league, the Cincinnati Steam and the Southern Ohio Copperheads tied at 1 apiece. They're in the top of the 3rd. And I had to venture to Twitter to find this because the point streak not active for the Northern Ohio Baseball Club, taking on the Lake Erie Monarchs. And the Monarchs are on top 1-0 after 3 innings.
Monarchs have been streaking as of recently, but as we found out, will not be playing in the postseason tournament for the Great Lakes League. We'll be playing in Wichita, Kansas, in a tournament with a bunch of teams from different summer collegiate leagues around the country. Jonathan Bravo will step back in after taking that bounce away for a pass ball. Next pitch, swung and missed. Bravo goes down swinging. Now 2 outs for the Scouts with Miles Wright in another chance to bring home Gilcrease as he stays on third.
It always seems like during later opportunities in the games after the first couple innings, it seems like Miles always comes up to the plate with a guy or two on base with a chance to get some RBIs.
7, 8, 9 hitters all playing their college baseball in Texas. Miles Wright in Austin. Here comes the first pitch from Rodesky. That one misses high. 1-0 to the patient Miles Wright, who, as we mentioned before the game, was slumping coming into the contest, but had RBI single to start things off. Has a chance to duplicate that action here in the top of the fourth inning. Scouts leading 2-0. 1-0, and that one's right down Detroit Street, 1-1.
Miles with his hit in the second inning, 3 for 7 against these Grand Lake Mariners.
Gilcrease gets his lead on third. Turner's playing pretty far back, so you can imagine Miles Wright laying down a bunt. Now we'll creep up a little bit. Checks, but inside corner regardless. Something we saw the first time I was up. And will now be 1-2 to Miles Wright. Scouts down to the last strike of the top of the fourth inning. Rodesky gets his pitch, 1-2. That one's in the turf, bounces off Greenman, but Levi Gilcrease will scamper back to third, realizing he has no play at home. Good block by the all-star catcher, and it'll be even up in 2-2, which was the exact count of his last RBI single that went right up the middle past Rodesky. So even at 2-2. Rodesky, he throws. Now as we hit towards the middle, and past Rossetti. That's short, and again, very similar to back in the second inning. Miles Wright with an RBI single up the gap.
A little deja vu for Miles. Didn't hit it to exactly the same spot, but it'll nonetheless be the same outcome. He gets himself on with another base hit and another RBI for his second on the day. That gives him 15 on the year.
After Gilcrease bunted, stole second, then got to third on a pass ball. He singled home from Miles Wright. And we're back to the top of the Scots lineup with Lee Solomon. First pitch to Lee, misses, low and away for a ball. Lee did show bunt. He has one bunt single in the afternoon. Scout's been laying a lot more bunts after a few days ago when Coach Bubba Case gave an inspired talk about bunting, and we see Alec Turner playing all the way in on third base right now. Next pitch to Lee. This is a bit high, 1-1. What that does is draws the infield in. Then you can hit the ball right over top of him and increases your chances of being able to get hits. Lee Solomon, with a lot of power, does have 2 homers on the season. Miles Wright will be back into the first base bag in time on the pickoff attempt from Rodesky. Two-0 count to Lee Solomon. Scouts up 3-0. That must be swung on and fouled. Or is it going to stay? Oh, that's going to stay in plenty of play. And put away as we lost it here. And that's the third out of the inning. Again, we can't really see in that area towards right field. And we know the catch was made by Don Bollinger, but didn't really see the details of it.
Yeah, that one drifted into foul territory. I was able to kind of get a glimpse of it out through some more of the press box windows, but he just drifted into foul territory, and Bollinger was able to put that one away for the final out of the inning. And it looked initially like it was going to stay fair off the bat, but eventually drifted into foul territory to be put away by Bollinger.
So in that top of the fourth inning, 2 hits, 1 run, and 1 left on for the Xenia Scouts, who have upped their lead to 3-0 as we travel to the bottom of the fourth inning. Hugh McGrath back on the rubber. Been pretty dynamite so far. Has only allowed 4 hits. Also has 3 strikeouts on the day. And 1 walk.
Coming up for the Mariners here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Scouts on top by a score of 3-0. It'll be Matt Smith, the left fielder from BG, Ricky Silvestri, the designated hitter from Sinclair Community College, and Hayden Rappaport, the right fielder from Dartmouth College. So the same exact guys that came up to the plate to start the second inning.
Matt Smith singled back in that second inning to start things off. I was on a even 2-2 count from McGrath. Of course, McGrath wearing that pink glove. Support his mother, a breast cancer survivor. First pitch to Smith. Swung and missed. Big hack from the righty against the southpaw, Q McGrath. Again, Q looking for the 6th win of the season. Here comes the 0-1. That one is going to be chopped away on the off-speeder. And quickly Smith goes down 0-2.
So you got to wonder if Q's going to throw that breaking pitch for the 2nd time in a row to keep Smith off balance.
Here comes the 0-2. And that one's going to be driven towards right center field, and it's going to drop in front of Miles Wright. It's going to stay against the fence, and he can go 3, and he'll stop there. Probably a wise move for Matt Smith to stay at second base, but Matt Smith, the left fielder, having a day. 2 for 2 in this contest with a single and a double.
So 2 mistakes there from Q is, hey, he left one over the plate on a 0-2 count to Smith, and it was allowed him to get a piece of that one and threw him a fastball. So you got to be expecting a fastball on that 0-2 count. That's what you're looking for when you're down like that.
5th hit of the day given up by McGrath, and that brings up Ricky Silvestri, the designated hitter from Sinclair Community College, and his 3rd at-bat as a Mariner. Smith gets his lead at second. First pitch to the left-hander is blown away for a ball.
So not much we can tell you about Silvestri other than he's a DH tonight. He is a utility infielder that says he can play every infield position except catcher.
Here comes the 1-0. That one's low in the turf.
No. He singled the first time.
2-0 from McGrath to Silvestri. We're here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Scouts lead 3-0 near Montgomery Field on a Thursday night. Here's the 2-0, and that one's going to be swung and chopped out of play towards first base. Again, if there's any activity in the Scouts bullpen, we will not be able to let you know. So we'll see substitutions at the exact same time you do on the web stream. Matt Smith gets his lead at second after a leadoff double. Starts at bottom of the 4th inning. Now Silvestri at the plate. Watches that one go low. Now 3-1 to the designated hitter. Q with 1 walk on the afternoon. Now it's Robert Greenman back in the 1st inning. Now has 17 on the year. Also with 3 strikeouts today. One more would put him at a 2-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Next pitch, and that one misses low, and Silvestri's going to get on for the first time as a Mariner as he gets walked from McGrath.
And that's only going to be Q's 2nd walk of the day. He walked Greenman back in the 1st.
In the spring, he plays for the Big Green of Dartmouth College. Number 36,
So Q McGrath in a little bit of trouble here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-1, none out as Coach Bubba Cates has a meeting with the southpaw, and so the entire infield is going to come in as Zach Wiley, Cale Giddings, Kyle Carnahan, Lee Solomon, Christian Binger all talk
While we have a meeting on the mound, can we have a nice round of applause for our
to their ace pitcher, the recent all-star, other all-stars in the game for the Xenia Scouts. Not playing the outfield, but David Gonk got it. 3rd baseman Kyle Carnahan also named an all-star, and then Lee Solomon playing at shortstop named an all-star, but as Lance told me before the game, we'll be playing the all-star game at second base. 3 pitchers named from the Scouts. Q McGrath, who's on the mound. John Crawford, starting pitcher. And then Ben Aldridge, who's been a starting pitcher, reliever, and a closer this season. Bit of an everything man on the mound. And those are your 6 all-stars for the Xenia Scouts. That game will be played on Tuesday down in Prasco Park. If that name sounds familiar, it was the first park that Lance and I broadcasted for the Scouts this season in the exhibition game against the Cincinnati Spikes all the way back on June 2nd, which seems like a millennia ago.
I was going to say a lifetime ago, but that works too.
Yeah, millennia is a couple of lifetimes. That one to Hayden Rappaport. Swung on the first pitch. Lee Solomon calls off Carnahan and will put it away. So 1 swing and 1 out now here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
1 out, 2
Hayden
out.
Rappaport,
Second baseman from the
0 for 2 today.
Toledo,
And that's what Q needed up there after allowing Matt Smith again with a double and walking Silvestri. Needed something to happen quickly, so he gets Rappaport to pop out on his first pitch.
And the second lefty in the starting nine for the Mariners, Brad Boss, second baseman from Toledo. And a bunt single in his first at-bat. Kyle Carnahan definitely playing more in this time, a little in front of the third base bag. That was on a first pitch bunt, 2-1. Matt Smith, who doubled, and Ricky Silvestri, who walked. First pitch to Boss as he was swinging. That one's hit to center field. It's going in. Gilcrease watches it go. So a 3-run shot from Brad Boss times up the ball game. That one was to dead center field, and if you can see on the webcam, right in front of the flagpole, his old glory waves in dead center. And on one swing on the first pitch, Brad Boss ties up this ball game.
That's a crusher for the Scouts. They've worked little by little to tack onto their lead. They scored 1 run in each of the first, second, and fourth innings, and then one swing of the bat, Brad Boss makes it a tie ball game.
And that brings us to the top of the Mariners lineup, and Tyler Frank is 0 for 2 today. Struck out of Q last time, who stays in the game. That one swung foul backwards. I think Mariners players talking in the dugout. We've seen a lot of first pitch swinging out of the white and green and blue. That one on a first pitch was taken out of the park. Boss now 2 for 2 today. Bunt single and a 3-run home run. That one's going to be fouled back over our head, so 0-2 now to the Bronco from Western Michigan. It is a tie ball game, folks, here in the bottom of the fourth inning between the Scouts and the Mariners on that 3-run dinger from Brad Boss. Q McGrath still on the mound. Both teams with 5 hits, no errors for either club. As time is called from catcher Zach Wiley. 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth inning, so still some room for the Mariners to do some damage. Tyler Franco with 2 strikes against him, though. Next pitch, going to be fouled back again, staying alive at 0-2.
Q definitely took a lot off of that one and didn't really want to give Frank anything to hit with the 0-2 count.
That's the second homer of the year from Boss. The other one was back on July 2nd against the Lima Locos. Q trying to regain his composure on the mound, shakes off a couple of pitches, gets the one he likes. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and that one's well in the turf, way in front of home plate to make it 1-2. Brad Boss, who ends this Mariners lineup, the 9-hitter, 2 for 2 today, as that one is fouled again right in front of us, but behind the press box. Shows off his versatility to lay down a bunt single and then show off his power with a 3-run shot. Back at the dish, 1-2 to Tyler Frank. Q trying to get his second out of the bottom of the fourth. That one misses inside, now evened up to Frank, 2-2. Matt Smith started off the hitting in the bottom of the fourth inning with a easy double. Then Ricky Silvestri was walked under Hayden Rappaport. Flew out to shortstop as that one misses inside as well. We have a full count at the plate to Tyler Frank. Rappaport flew out in the 3-run shot from Brad Boston. He was trying to avoid his second walk of the inning with the payoff pitch incoming to the righty Tyler Frank. Q winds and fires. That one's head towards right field. Miles Wright looks like he has a good beat on it though and will put it away. 316 to right field, so that one probably went about 295.
Brings up the Mariner third baseman, number 13, Alec Turner.
So now this will bring up Alec Turner. Had a double back in the first inning. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Also threw out to Miles Wright in right field in the third inning.
Tie ball game, folks, here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 3 apiece on the scoreboard. First pitch to Turner is a bit high. 1-0 to the third baseman from Sinclair, who's 1 for 2 today. Straining on third base. Back in the first inning, flew out to Miles Wright last time. That went right down the equator, 1-1. Q in his Nike sucks. Here comes the 1-1. That one catches the outside corner. 1-2 now to Turner. Q 1 strike away from getting out of this disastrous 4th inning. That one swung and popped up behind us, so we'll do it again with this 1-2 count.
And I think that's been the difference for Q today. We usually, when he's dominating, we see him paint the outside corner, but haven't quite seen that today. We've seen it a few pitches here and there, but not his usual self.
1-2 pitch. That one is when he popped up again. Same spot as Turner looks to the sky, watches it fall. And for the 3rd straight time, a 1-2 count back at home plate. Q with his glove in front of his face. Now pulls it out, throws home, and that one in the turf. Good check from Turner. He wanted to swing at it, thought better of it, evens things up at 2-2. Still 2 outs, none on here in the bottom of the 4th of a tie ball game at trays for both sides. 2-2. That one's going to be driven towards center field. Levi Gilcrease will be able to put it away as the liner falls into his leather glove, but not before Brad Boss evens the score at 3 apiece on his 3-run homer. Araka took that one off, and it took flight out of Montgomery Field. And Rodesky still on the mound for the Grand Lake Mariners. We're going to the top of the 5th inning, tied up at 3. Trying to see, we just got a signal from the home plate umpire. Waved his fingers around, maybe. Guess he's telling us to put the lights on the press box. Or lights on in the field, which they are still not.
That, I think, would be it, because the alignment looks the same.
So regardless of whatever the home plate umpire wants, it is 3-3 here at Montgomery Field. Brad Boss shows he's the boss with that 3-run shot. And the Scouts are going to have to come back if they want to get Q his 6th win of the year. They did score back in the top of the inning. Levi Gilcrease once again singled home by Miles Wright. 2nd time in this game. The 2 players have connected. Both are 2 for 2. So Xenia's going to have to come back out. Maybe play a little more small ball. Try to regain this lead. With the righty Rodesky still on the mound, and Lance, who the Scouts have coming up.
It'll be exactly as it was in the 3rd inning. It'll be led off by Christian Binger, the second baseman from Southwest Baptist. And then it'll be the 2 Washburn Ichabods, Kyle Carnahan, the 3rd base, and then David Gaunt, the catcher, playing designated hitter today.
Through 4 innings, Austin Rodesky, the righty from Findlay, has 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, 5 hits given up, and 3 earned runs. Now faces the lefty Christian Binger for his 3rd time. First pitch in there for a strike. Not surprising, as Christian was first pitch swinging last time, that he would take here, because very uncharacteristic of the second baseman. Here comes 0-1. That one bounces. And they're saying he's going to hit his foot. Bounced off the foot of Christian Binger and is hit by a pitch to get on for the 2nd time today.
Christian always finds ways to get on base. It's been predominantly with the walk. Has done a good job hitting the ball as well. Came into the day with a 280 average, but gets on that time with the hit by pitch. Just bounced off his foot.
First batter hit by either of these 2 teams today as Kyle Carnahan comes out to the plate. He tried to bunt last time as Binger is back to first. Remember, Christian was picked off last time by Greenman. Last time he was on back in the 1st inning. From home plate. Now back to Carnahan at home plate. First pitch to him. That one's going to be driven towards right field, but looks like it's going to be easily put away. That one hit on an absolute rope. But Rappaport in great position.
That brings up the cleanup hitter and designated hitter for the Scouts, number 17, David Gaunt.
So we do have some activity in the Mariners bullpen with Rodesky on the mound. That brings up Dave Gaunt. Tie ball game here in the top of the 5th. Sun in predominantly right field over Montgomery Field here in Salina, Ohio. Christian Binger was hit. Now first one to David Gaunt. Big swing and a miss on the gas. Nice fastball from Radeski. Gets it by the all-star catcher.
Alex Flores is out there warming up in the bullpen for the Mariners. Also see Jeff Paul walking out there as we speak.
And that one's a pickoff attempt, but Binger back in plenty of time. So we see a couple of Mariners getting warmed up for Radeski. He's most likely trying to get through 5 innings here if they could put a runner in the bottom of the inning. Next pitch, and misses outside or inside for a ball. 1-1 with 1 out and 1 on. Three ball game. Game in the balance with Christian Binger on first base. David Gaunt, and Binger's on the move. That one's fouled backwards on the hit and run play. Scouts have been very effective on the base pass this afternoon. 4 stolen bases, 2 apiece from Lee Solomon and Levi Gilcrease. 1-2 count. 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. David Gaunt at the plate, 0 for 1 today, but did walk last time. Another pickoff attempt, and Binger is just in time. Another good pickoff from Radeski. The righty has a pretty solid move.
And David at the plate says he has a different 2-strike approach than he did when he first came here. Learned this from Kevin Merrill, a former Scout player. Be late on the fastball with 2 strikes.
Here comes the 1-2, and that one's way up top. Even it up now, 2-2 to David. Gets his sign from Coach Cates. Binger gets his lead. Still with a 3-3 ball game here in the top of the 5th. 1 on, 1 out. Here's the row. That was a pitch out and plenty of time. Binger is going to be caught. I think the Mariners knew that one was coming, as that was a obvious pitch out. Greeman able to fire it towards second base in plenty of time. And for the second time today, after not being caught stealing all year, Binger is put away.
And yeah, he looked like he was getting ready to run over there at first, and that's exactly what was happening.
And that's going to be another ball and a walk towards David Gaunt, his second consecutive walk of the afternoon. That'll put him at 20 on the season.
First base, that'll bring up the first baseman for Xenia, number 10.
So a nice patient at bat from David Gaunt, who was down 1-2, fouled off a pitch, and then took 3 straight balls. Cale Giddings now at the plate now. 0 for 2 today. That one's we swing and hit towards third. Rossetti stops it, but will not have a play. Good stop by the Linky shortstop, but is unable to go to second to force the lead runner David Gaunt, or throw to Bollinger back at first base. And infield single for Cale Giddings.
And Cale hit that one on a line. It was a great defensive play to even stop that one. I don't think David Gaunt would have advanced to third on that one, but that is a possibility. So just getting the stop was able to keep the Scouts runners in their spot.
That brings up Zach Wiley, is 0 for 2 today. 2 runners on for the Scouts. 3-3 ball game here in the top of the 5th inning. Is evened up in the bottom of the 4th when Brad Ballas hit a 3-run shot to tie off the Scouts. Austin Radeski still on the mound. First pitch to the catcher, Zach Wiley, is high. 1-0.
Wiley 0 for 2 today, struck out in the second inning and grounded out to Alec Turner down at third and 4th.
Both these teams with 6 hits, no errors, and 3 runs. 1-0 to Wiley. That one. And pick up attempt towards second. And back in time is gone. That's something you don't see every day. Pick off attempt from home plate to second base. Must have thought David Gaunt had too much of a lead, but he was back in plenty of time. 2-0 to Zach Wiley, the Bulldog. That one misses high as well. 3-0 to Zach Wiley, who's going to be taking here as he's going to have to park his car with a red light.
parks his car with a red light.
It's going to be a really long red light.
Maybe if they were like coming up to a train or something.
It could happen. That one right down the center for a strike. 3-1. David got on second. Cale Giddings off of first. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Next pitch, we swung and fouled out of play. So after going up 3-0, the count has worked back to a full. Good job by Austin Rodeski working here in this duel against Zach Wiley. Who's going to get the better of the two in this righty versus righty battle between Austin Rodeski and Zach Wiley? Wiley 0 for 2 today, looking for that first hit, showing off that shiny new bat. Payoff pitch incoming. That one misses inside. And the second walk in 3 batters for Rodeski. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Levi Gilcrease, who's 2 for 2 today.
2 outs.
Levi coming up in a great spot, and you mentioned 2 for 2 today. Does have 2 hits, one just a regular old base hit, the other one was a bunt base hit. A couple of stolen bases as came around to score twice today, so scored 2 of his scouts' 3 runs.
5 walks on the day for Rodeski. First pitch swinging from Gilcrease out of play. Scouts with 6 hits and now 5 walks. They've done a good job of putting base runners on. They have left 3 base runners on today, which are 4 base runners on today, which isn't really terrible. 0-1 to Gilcrease back at home plate. Here's the pitch from Rodeski outside corner for a strike. Gilcrease goes down 0-2 against the aggressor, Austin Rodeski. Gone on third. He was walked. Cale Giddings on second. He had an infield single. And Zach Wiley on first. He was walked as well. Rodeski trying to get out of the jam. 0-2. And that one misses outside. Try to get Levi to swing at it, but would not. 1-2 now as the lights in the outfield are on. 8:30 now here in Salina, Ohio. Game started around 7:05. 1-2 of 2 outs. That one swung on and missed. Gilcrease goes down with the bases chalked. And the Scouts leave 3 on here in the top of the 5th inning. And we're going to the bottom of 5. Still tied at 3-3.
So that makes 39 strikeouts on the season for Levi Gilcrease.
We'll see if Q McGrath comes back out, and he will. Just see him meeting at the mound. Back in the bottom of the 4th inning. We're going to the bottom of the 5th, tie 3-3. Again, we can't see the Scouts' bullpen. So if someone comes in, we'll be aware of it as soon as you are.
Yeah, I think they have someone ready to come in because we already saw one meeting on the mound with Q. So would have to think somebody's warming up in the bullpen. Again, we can't see out there, but I don't think there's anyone out there right now. So that's just me, and I have a terrible angle. So I'm just saying I don't see anyone currently. That could change very quickly.
I think it will depend on how Q's looking out there on the rubber as he's about to embark on his 5th inning of pitching. Remember, in his last start only went 3 2/3 as Lincoln Reed, who was warming up, heads back towards the bullpen. So contest clues can tell us that someone is warming up out there because he didn't go back to the dugout. Reliever for the Scouts, Tony Campbell would be a candidate. Joe Chasen, Thomas Wanting, maybe Nick Street. We don't know, but we do know we're going to the bottom of the 5th, and Lance let us know who's coming up for the Mariners.
For the Mariners, it'll be Nick Rossetti, the shortstop from Iowa, Robert Greenman, the catcher from Central Michigan, and Dalton Bollinger, the first baseman from UT, also plays some catcher.
First 1-2 Rossetti inside from Q. 1-0. As that one broke a little too far in. Rossetti 0 for 2. Now facing a pitch. That one's grounded towards Carnahan on a slow bounce. Throws to Giddings in time. So now the man that came in today batting .392 is 0 for 3.
And that makes him 0 for 7
Okay, now
against the
second
Scouts
batter,
this season.
Robert Greenman batting for Kathy runs. Single, double, triple, or home run makes Kathy a winner.
Oh, Robert Greenman up to the dish. Yeah, that big double back in the third inning before he was left stranded, and that one first pitch swinging. Something we've seen a lot from these Mariners batters. I realize Q likes to go down the middle on his first pitch, and they started hitting him up, especially in that fourth inning with Brad Boss on the 3-run shot. Swings in a big way on the first pitch. That one missed outside, though. And we see on the mind games between the hitters and the pitchers, Q this time going outside on the first pitch against Greenman. 0-1. That one misses. And now we're evened up at 1 apiece.
Greenman 1 for 1 on the day, had a double back in inning number 3, and had a great at-bat in the first inning, and got himself out with the walk.
Q rises and delivers. That one is fouled out of play towards the first base side. So Greenman down to his last strike. He had a 1-2 count back in that first inning when he fouled off a myriad of pitches, and it took 3 balls to get the walk. Now here comes the 1-2 from McGrath, and that one misses outside, and now will be evened up. 2-2 to Greenman. All-star catcher for the Grand Lake Mariners. Here's the 2-2. That one's going to be chopped away foul. So yet again, a long at-bat for Robert Greenman. So we saw a super long at-bat, a first pitch swinging double, and now another long at-bat for the catcher from Central Michigan. Bottom of the fifth, 1 out, 3-3 ball game between the Scouts and the Mariners. Here comes the 2-2. That one is low. And the same story as we saw back in the first inning. Full count after Q was leading 1-2. Payoff pitch will be incoming. We saw a full count last inning from Tyler Frank, and that one misses low. And again, just like we saw in the first, Robert Greenman fights his way back to draw a walk. He's had 3 solid appearances at the plate today. 1 for 1 with 2 walks. And that's going to bring Dalton Bollinger. First pitch in there for a strike to the Rocket. 0-1. Dalton today is 0 for 2. Grounded out to Lee Solomon after short last time. 1 out. Double play ball is in effect. That one's going to be chopped towards third base, so quickly Bollinger down 0-2.
Bollinger 0 for 5 against the Scouts.
Freeman sits on first base after drawing that walk on another long at-bat. Nick Rossetti grounded out to Kyle Carney, and at third, 0-2 is going to be driven towards right center field, but Miles Wright will be putting it away. Will not throw it to first base. We'll just throw it to Christian Meyer, the cutoff man. And on the 0-2, hard hit line drive, Bollinger's put away.
And Matt Smith coming up to the plate with the heart. It's a Hard Knock Life. Exactly his walk-up song at BG. So a little insider knowledge up here.
As of course, Lance Morris and myself go to Bowling Green State University, and we've seen plenty of Matt Smith this year. He was fantastic and has been fantastic today. 2 for 2 with a single and a double. First pitch to him is foul backwards. 0-1 now to the left fielder. Again, second team All-MAC this year. That's why we're so surprised to see with that 178 average has struggled in Great Lakes League play. Now 0-1 against Q McGrath. Here comes the pitch. That one's low. Good block from Zach Wiley. Robert Greenman stands off the first base bag. He had a full count walk. His second of the day to get over there. First base, 3-3 game. Pickoff attempt towards first. And plenty of time. 1-1 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth inning. And that 3-3 score. Now Smith violently swings his bat and swings foul out of play. Q a strike away from getting out of the fifth inning with the game still tied. Greenman stands stoically at first. Here comes the pitch, and that one is low. Evens it up at 2-2 of 2 outs.
And Matt Smith, of course, like we mentioned, goes to BG, as do myself and Terry, more of a gap-to-gap kind of guy. Does have home run power, but you're not going to see it very often.
2-2 pitch. Swings and misses at the low one, and Smith is kicking his bat in frustration as he knows he should have laid off. A great job from McGrath. For the third time today, he gets a strikeout to end the inning. And another batter left on for the Mariners as Greenman stranded on his own island. And we're going to the top of the 6th.
And I think they're going to make a pitching change.
So we're going to the top of the 6th. 3-3 ball game. Score still intact. Has been ever since the bottom of the 4th inning as both teams put goose eggs up in that 5th inning. Austin Rodesky went 5 innings and is apparently going to be replaced. We'll see who that is.
Looks like it'll be Alex Flores coming into the ball game. He is from Juan Diaz, Iowa. Is originally from Panama. Goes to college at Southeastern Community College. Is 1-0 on the season, a 5.40 ERA. This will be his 9th appearance out of the bullpen. Has not started a game for the Mariners. 11 2/3 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, 14 walks, and his last time out was against the Monarchs 2 days ago. He pitched 2 innings, gave up just 1 hit, did not allow a run to cross the plate. And his only win of the season was in his first appearance against the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. That was way back on June 6th.
So we'll see how Alex Flores does. Austin Rodesky only allowed 3 runs in those 5 innings. Gave up 6 hits. Also had a number of walks. Put him at 5 walks for the day. And now puts him at 25 walks for the season, but also had 5 strikeouts. Even those up, now has 29 strikeouts on the year. Flores from Southeastern Community College, remember correctly. He has a pretty solid fastball. That's what I remember from his 2 1/3 start against the Scouts and that 5-3 win against Xenia back at Grady's Field. Another righty, the second one we've seen. Scouts were leading 3-0 going into the bottom of the 4th inning when a 3-run shot from Brad Boss evened things up here at Montgomery Field in Salina, Ohio. Scouts looking for their 2nd straight victory after winning 8-0 over the Lorain County Ironman last night. Came in today number 3 in the Great Lakes League standings. And we're heading to the top of the 6th. Lance, who's coming up for the Scouts?
Coming up for the Scouts, it'll be 8-9-1 in the batting order. It'll be led off by Jonathan Bravo. He's 0 for 1 today with a walk and a strikeout. Then it'll be Miles Wright. He's 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles and 2 RBIs. And after him, we'll be back to the top of the order in Lee Solomon. He's 1 for 3 on the day with a bunt hit single that he also swiped a couple of bases and then grounded out in the 2nd and flew out in the 4th.
Now here comes Bravo. Came in today batting .250. First pitch from Flores. Right in there for a strike, and there we see that heavy heater from the right-hander. See if Bravo can catch up to it. 0-1 pitch. Here it comes. And there it goes, right across the dish. 0-2 now to Bravo, as he's trying to figure out the speed of Alex Flores. Bravo struck on 3 pitches last time he was up. That's Austin Rodesky. Now Flores on the mound. And that one is high, tips it, but goes right into the glove of Greenman. Bravo couldn't hang off the high heat, and for the 2nd straight time, will go down on 3 pitches, all strikes.
One down. That'll bring up the right fielder, number 2, Miles Wright.
That's going to bring up Miles, who's 2 for 2 today with 2 singles and 2 RBIs. The 6th total strikeout for the Mariners as Rodesky had 5. Here's 6. First pitch in there for a strike.
That was right. That's a 6 total. Rodesky had 5.
Okay, we're just making sure Rodesky did have 5. Now 6 total. 0-1 to Miles right. We've only seen strikes so far from Flores. 4 of them to be exact. Another one of Miles right. That one inside, the first ball we've seen from the big righty. Miles has had 2-2 counts on both his RBI singles, but Levi Gilcrease not in a position to score last time. He was the one that Miles scored on both of his hits. 1-1 pitch. So on shot towards third. Good turn from Miles right. Just couldn't keep it fair. If he did, that could be trouble. A lot of territory in the left field foul area. Also the home of the Mariners bullpen. 1-2 now to Miles Wright. Now has 15 RBIs on the season. Tied for third on the team with Levi Gilcrease. 1-2. And that hits him. That one had to hurt. But it'll take the hit on the shoulder for a walk to first.
Yeah, Miles definitely looked like that one hurt a little bit, but he'll shake it off. Miles is a tough guy. When we got him in the back of the shoulder, and I think, if I remember correctly, he was doing shoulder workouts this morning, so I'm sure he was well protected.
So bring up Lee Solomon. Miles of 9 steals on the season. Second on the team to Lee Solomon.
That was the 4th time Miles has been hit by a pitch this season.
And here comes Lee. 1 for 3 today. First pitch. That one tips off his bat, and you can't believe it. He tried a check swing, hit the bat anyway. Unfortunate break for Lee, and makes it 0-1. Double play ball now in effect with the speedster Miles right off of first base. 4th time around. The scouts let it, and Miles is on the move. That one's outside corner. They're not even going to try to throw him out. He'll be in double digits as well with 10 stolen bases on the year.
Steals on parade here today. A lot of scouts stealing a lot of bases, and he's the first one to steal that isn't Lee or Levi.
So now the second scout in double digits in steals, but 2 behind Lee because Lee has a couple of swipe bags on the night. 0-2 at the plate now for Solomon. Here comes that 0-2 pitch. That one's way up top. Lee has to squat down. 1-2 to the shortstop. Attends Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee. Same school as his dad. From Columbus Academy originally in Gahanna, Ohio. Part of Columbus. The youngest player on this team.
And he's an all-star.
And he's an all-star. Got a lot going on for him. 1-2 count now. Back to the shortstop. Here comes the pitch from Flores, and that one is past Greenman, the pass ball. Miles right. Oh, I thought he was going to go home, and now he stumbles, and now they're going to throw him towards, and it hits him. Oh, what a break for Miles Wright. That play had everything. Pass ball got by Greenman. Miles Wright rounded third, and he slipped and fell on his keister. Looked like he was going to be thrown out by Greenman to Alec Turner, and the ball hit Miles Wright, and he stays on third base with the pass ball. Lee Solomon shows off that big smile after watching all the madness unfold.
And Miles knows that he's going to be made fun of later, not just by the rest of the team, but by us up here in the press box.
And here goes the next pitch. That one in the dirt. What a great grab in the turf from Greenman, because that would have scored Miles Wright. So a full count now to Lee Solomon, who is down 0-2, worked his way all the way back on 3 straight low pitches from Flores. Here's the payoff. And that one misses inside. Second walk of the night for Lee Solomon. And with only 1 out, you have to think Lee Solomon's thinking steal number 3 on first base.
You have to be thinking steal number 3, especially with runners on the corners. You can take advantage because if they do attempt to try and throw out Lee, which he probably would be safe the way he's running tonight, that allows a chance for Miles to score from third.
That's going to bring Christian Binger. He's 0 for 1 today, but has walked and was hit by a pitch in his last at bat. That was back when Austin Rodesky was in the game. Pretty big lead for Lee, and he's on the move. Big hop, and that one's low on the turf, and an easy steal for Lee Solomon. Third steal of the contest. Sixth steal of the game for the Scouts. That's got to be a team high for one game this year.
I think it has to be easily.
I don't think I'm going to fact check that. I just kind of can say that I know.
I don't think we've had 3 steals total in a game, and Lee has 3 today. So
Lee Solomon with 3 steals. Next one to Binger. That one misses low and outside as well. 2-0 to Christian. First base is opened up now. Both runners in scoring position. One out here in the top of the 6th inning. So Flores came in firing right down the center. Now has some control issues. Missing low and away these last few batters. I'll start off with a hit by pitch to Miles right. Christian Binger. Watch that one miss the outside corner just barely. Now 3-0 to Christian, who will be taken here, looking for walk 28 of the season. Flores winds and delivers, and that one inside corner for a strike. Bigger not even considering swinging at that one. Might as well not even go back in the batter's box.
you have to go back in the batter's box.
Formalities. Miles right off of third base. Lee Solomon, big lead off of second. Here comes the 3-1. And that one's low. That'll be a second straight walk from Alex Flores, who has 1 strikeout, not allowed a hit, but has hit a batter and now 2 walks.
That's 28th time that Christian Binger has walked. That's just unbelievable how many times he's gotten on base via walk this season.
7 walks on the day for the Scouts. They were walked 11 times yesterday. Now Kyle Carnahan up. First pitch to him is a wee bit high, 1-0 to the Boulder. Kyle with 6 home runs on this year. If he can get a big swing on one of those fastballs and make contact with it, it could be some serious problems for Alex Flores. 1-0 count. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. That one is a bit low. 2-0 now to Kyle Carnahan, the all-star third baseman.
And if you're Kyle, why not wait till you see at least 1 strike, as we've seen Flores struggle a little bit to these last few batters, and like you mentioned, it all started once he hit Miles right with the 1-2 count.
Because before that, it was pretty much every single pitch right down the center. He did have one inside of Miles, but was pretty phenomenal. Here's Jonathan Bravo. Next pitch is a bit high. 3-0 now from Flores, who definitely pitching to a taking Kyle Carnahan. If there is one guy you want to swing on 3-0, it would be Kyle Carnahan. 3-0 pitch. And that one misses inside, and he's going to walk home Miles right. So a hit by a pitch, and then walking the bases loaded is Alex Flores, as we still see some activity in the Mariners' pen after wondering how long Sam Slavic, the Grand Lake head coach, leads Flores in this game. As the Scouts now lead 4-3 here in the top of the 6th inning. 1 out, bases still loaded for David Gaunt. Lee Solomon at third. Binger second. Carnahan on first. That one low in the turf. Good block by Greenman to grab that one. Boy's trying to recompose himself now. Steps all the way off the mound. I'll now step back on. Walk Solomon on a 3-2 count. Binger on a 3-1 count. And then 4 straight balls to Kyle Carnahan. Here's the 1-0 to David Gaunt. Swung on. That one is hung up towards left field. Matt Smith will catch it. Lee Solomon's going to be tagging up. Throw to the home plate, and Greenman is not in time. Lee Solomon did not slide. He was able to get past in time. The second time today that Lee has been sacrificed, flown home both times by a Ichabod from Washburn. First time Carnahan, this time David Gaunt.
31 RBIs now for David Gaunt on the season. That'll tie him at the top of the lead, and I think that puts him within 1 of breaking now the Scouts' RBI record. I think he just tied it with that one.
That's going to bring Kale Giddings. He had an infield single last time. Binger at second. Carnahan on first. Flores still on the mound. First pitch to Giddings. A bit low, so 1-0 now to the big man. Earned run now to Flores. Scouts lead 5-3. Actually, 2 earned runs to Flores here in the top of the 6th inning. 1-0 pitch to Giddings. Swung on, and that one's flown up way, way, way in the air, and will finally come back down to earth in the glove of Nick Rossetti. And after the top of the 6th inning, the Scouts leave 2 on, but not before 2 runs come across the board after some control problems from the new pitcher, Alex Flores.
So that RBI from Gaunt will put him within 1 of tying Chandler Brocky, who was from Alabama Huntsville. He broke that record in 2012, and he so now Gaunt securely in second place, passing Case Rigby, who had 30 runs batted in back in 2008 from Fresno Pacific. So Gaunt securely in second place in all-time runs in a season batted in from the Scouts.
We're going to have a pitching change as Tony Campbell is coming into the game for Q McGrath. Q went 5 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, all of them on the 3-run shot to Brad Boss. Also gave up 6 hits, 3 walks, and had 4 strikeouts.
Actually, I take that back. I should learn how to read. That actually breaks the record. The run from Chandler Brock was runs scored, not runs batted in. So he officially does break the Xenia Scouts record for runs batted in. Maybe just maybe I'll learn how to read someday.
Well, we can all hope. Hooked on Phonics worked for me. It can work for you, too. Tony Campbell on the rubber here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Replaces Q, and again, we're spoiled. Now, when we watched Q McGrath for so long, when he was 5-0 with an under a 1 ERA, so when he goes 5 innings, gives up 3 runs, it seems like a bad start to us. Not for anyone else in the league, but it's not what we expect from Q McGrath, as Tony Campbell and Zach Wiley are going to have a meeting at the mound.
You just have to go 5 innings for a win, correct?
Correct.
So Q is in line for the win, despite not having his best pitching performance again. So worst case, he gets a no decision. Best case, he gets win number 6 on the season.
So Q's spotless record at 5-0, not in danger here, as Tony Campbell comes into the game. As we have the 7, 8, 9 batters for the Mariners. First one is Silvestri from Campbell, and therefore a strike.
After Silvestri, it'll be Hayden Rappaport, the right fielder from Dartmouth College, and then Brad Boss, the second baseman from UT, with that 3-run home run back in the 4th.
Silvestri is 0 for 1 today. Watches that one hit the turf in front of home plate. Now 1-1. Tony Campbell from Nyack College, a high school teammate of Miles Wright at Katy Taylor High School in Katy, Texas. Suburb of Houston, 1-1. Curves outside corner for a strike. We know about Tony Campbell. He won't blow by you, but he has a lot of movement to his pitches. His curveballs are phenomenal and throws from a lot of different arm angles. 1-2. Now once we chopped over to Binger at second, picks it up on the one-hop, throws to Giddings, and gets Silvestri out in plenty of time, who is still searching for that first hit as a Mariner.
Mariner right fielder, number 36, Hayden Rappaport.
Here comes Hayden Rappaport to the dish. He is 0 for 2 today. Flew out both times, once to center field, once to Lee Solomon as short. Rappaport from Dartmouth College. First pitch to him from Campbell. Bottom of the zone for a strike. Tony Campbell has come in and has been firing away. Campbell did not play yesterday. 0-1 as we swung on and missed. Did blow by Rappaport that time. Might have been expecting something off speed. Campbell does come in today with 6 strikeouts on the year. His first appearance was against these Grand Lake Mariners. That one just popped off, got the edge of the barrel of the bat before it was popped behind us. We'll do it again at 0-2. And in his first appearance as a scout and his first batter faced, which was Alec Turner, he gave up a home run. And It's been much better since that point as a check swing goes off the bat of Rappaport. We'll do it again for the third time at 0-2. 5-3 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning, 1 out. Tony Campbell on the rubber, the far left side of the rubber for the Xenia Scouts. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be blew towards Bravo in left field, and he'll put it away on the sprint. The speedy Jonathan Bravo was able to put down Rappaport for his third flyout of the day.
And when the Scouts have this outfield into play, it's got to be one of, if not the fastest outfield in the league. You have Bravo up there in left, Levi Gilcrease in center, and Miles right out in right field. Each of them very, very fast. And I think outside of Lee Solomon, you'd say the 3 fastest players on the team.
I'd have to agree with that statement. Tony Campbell now facing Brad Boss, who takes the first pitch this time for a strike. The last time he saw a first pitch, he sent it to dead center field for a 3-run shot that scored all of the Mariner runs this game. Second pitch, also right down the middle. 0-2 now. Tony Campbell been very aggressive on the mound.
Yeah, Tony Campbell isn't scared of Brad Boss, even though he's 2 for 2 today.
Here's that 0-2 pitch. That one curves low. Good eye from Brad. No other substitutions have been made for the Scouts. Linky Reed could be put in as a substitute later on in this game, as could Austin Orr. Next pitch goes low, 2-2. Maxwell back in the second inning. Brad Boss on the first pitch laid down a bunt single. So this is the first time he's seen multiple pitches. 2-2 pitch. That one's going to be chopped foul. I'm going to hit Brad Boss as he walks out, takes a couple of swings. Yep, he's trying to kick off that right foot to ignore the pain. So the lefty will do it again here with this 2-2 count. Tony Campbell trying to go 1-2-3 in his first inning of relief pitching. Here comes the throw from Campbell. That one's low. Going to be a full count, the first from Campbell.
Good job from Boss. He works it back, was originally down 0-2, and Campbell went right at him and works it way back to a 3-2 count.
Campbell shakes off one pitch, gets the one he likes. Here's the full count. And that one's fouled away. They'll do payoff pitch 2.0 here. That's Brad Boss getting everything he can out of Tony Campbell. Last time we had a full count was back to the bottom of the 5th inning when Robert Greenman walked against Q McGrath. Here comes the full pitch, and that was in there for a strike. Brad Boss threw his bat. Will now have to pick it off and walk back to the dugout as Campbell gets him looking. So now 5 strikeouts on the day for the Scouts, and we're headed to the top of the 7th. Scouts lead 5-3 after getting 2 runs in the top half of that inning. And the interesting fact about the top half of the 6th inning, not a single hit. Made RBIs on a walk and a sacrifice fly from the 2 Ichabods, but not one hit in that inning. We head to the 7th now. 5-3 lead for the Scouts, and Lance, who's coming up for the Scouts, to try to extend this lead in the ballgame.
For the Scouts, they will be led off by the catcher for today's contest, Zach Wiley. He's 0 for 2 today. He walked in his last plate appearance. That was in the 5th inning. That'll be Levi Gilcrease. He's 2 for 3 today with 2 singles, a pair of stolen bases, and struck out his last at-bat. That was also in the 5th inning. And then it will be the guy who led off the 6th inning, Jonathan Bravo. Bravo was the first one to face new pitcher Alex Flores, who is back out there in the top of the 7th, and Bravo went down on 3 pitches.
One quick score update from around the league. The Settlers beat the Lorain County Ironmen in only 1 hour and 59 minutes. Only 5 hits total in that ball game between the 2 teams. First pitch from Flores to Wiley, foul backwards. 0-1 now to the catcher. Zach walked last time he was up. That was when Austin Rodesky was still in the game. He was replaced by Alex Flores in the top of the 6th. Now the top of the 7th. That one misses a little outside and low. 1-1 evened up to Zach Wiley.
Monarchs are up on the Northern Ohio Baseball Club 3-2 after 6 innings of play. Again, had to check Twitter because they're not doing it live on Point Streak.
1-1 pitch. That one's going to be chopped towards Rossetti at short. Throws to first in time to Bollinger, and that's 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 7th inning.
Also, some scores from around the league. The Hamilton Joes are up 3-0 over the Galleon Graders. They're in the top of the 9th inning, and the Southern Ohio Copperheads trail the Cincinnati Steam 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th at Bob Wren Stadium.
The Steam have been surging recently after they were struggling when they lost 2 against the Xenia Scouts. Levi Gilcrease back at the dish. That one well on the turf. Good pickup from Greenman. Levi struck out swinging last time he was up. That was back to Austin Rodeski. This is the last batter that hasn't faced Flores yet. So Scouts hitting around, says Flores. First K in the game. Back in the top of the 6th inning. Here comes the 1-0. That gets the outside corner, excuse me. 1-1 now. 1-1 with 1 out here. Scouts lead by 2, 5-3 here in the top of the 7th inning at Montgomery Field. Beautiful backdrop here in Salina, Ohio. 1-1 pitches. We hit towards Alec Turner at third. He picks up on the 1-hop, fires to first in time. An absolute bullet to Bollinger. Put 2 up, 2 down for the Scouts.
And it had to be on an absolute bullet after that one was chopped down towards third base at Alec Turner. And Speedy Levi Gilcrease has swiped a couple bases today, so you know he's going to be one of the faster guys up there from the plate. And Turner, like you said, threw an absolute bullet to first to get out Gilcrease for the second out.
That's going to bring in Jonathan Bravo, a left fielder. 0 for 2 today. First pitch. Up high for a ball, and in his last 2 at-bats, he struck out on 3 pitches each, so first ball Bravo has seen since he walked back in the 2nd. This was the first batter that Flores faced. Now with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th, trying to get a 1-2-3 inning. Swung and missed. Big swing from Bravo. Tipped it right into the big mitt of Robert Greenman. Now here comes the 1-1 to Bravo. That one bounces into the turf. We see some of those control issues still. That's what happens when you have a guy that can throw so hard. A lot of times struggles with control.
And no one warming up currently for the Mariners, although there are a lot of people out there sitting in the bullpen.
We did see someone warming up earlier. I believe it was a righty for a couple of innings, so we have to think he'd be ready to go. Here comes the 2-1. That one's going to be hit towards right field, and we're having trouble seeing it, and it's going to be foul. And we know it's foul. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it's foul. So regardless, it'll be 2-2 now to Bravo. As both Rappaport, Boss try to converge on that one.
I think from what I could kind of see down there towards right field, it was slicing and it just barely dropped foul, and Rappaport was actually diving trying to get to that one but wasn't able to come up with that one, so it would be 2-2 count out with 2 down to Bravo.
Flores looking for a second strikeout on Jonathan Bravo. Here comes that 2-2. That one's driven towards center field. Tyler Frank's going to come in and is unable to make the catch. And it'll be a single for Bravo, his first hit of the game. And the first hit given up by Alex Flores. And I thought Frank had that one. He didn't seem to be on his horse before he realized, oh no, that one's dropping. So he might have misplayed it, maybe lost in the lights. That's going to bring up Miles Wright. 2 for 2 today. Also hit by a pitch. Scored once. He was in that funny rundown last time where he got hit by a ball and a pickoff attempt to Bravo at first in plenty of time.
Bravo does have 5 steals on the season, so definitely could run, even though there's 2 down.
Here comes the first pitch to Miles Wright, back at the plate, just misses. 1-0 to the right fielder. He's had an unbelievable day. Now Turner playing a little bit behind parallel of third base. Plenty of room for Miles Wright to lay down a bunt, which we've seen this year. Solomon's already had a bunt single this game, so has Levi Gilcrease. So the Scouts definitely not afraid to lay him down here on the field turf. And on the move is Bravo, and he will be off because he slid off the bag. He was in there in plenty of time, but slid off the second base bag, and the tag was applied. Tough break for Bravo. Slid feet first, fell off, and then was tagged out by Boss.
Yeah, that's the only reason that he was out on that steal. He's just too much of a man. It really is the only way to say that. Too fast, too strong. Slid past the base, wasn't able to hold up. That's the only reason he was able to be tagged out for the final out of the inning. So we'll see Miles come up to lead off the next inning, inning number 8.
That was almost the 7th steal of the day for the Scouts. But we're heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. Scouts still lead 5-3.
Coming up to the bottom of the inning for the Grand Lake Mariners, it'll be the top of their order. It'll be Tyler Frank, the center fielder from Western Michigan University. It'll be Alec Turner, third baseman from Sinclair. And then it'll be Nick Rossetti, the shortstop from Iowa.
Scouts trying to hang on. As we head to the 4th time around, the start of the lineup for the Mariners. Frank over 3 last time, flew out to right field, and Miles Wright. See if Tony Campbell can put him down for the 4th time. Campbell went 0-2-3 back in the bottom of the 6th. That first pitch misses low. 1-0 now to the Bronco, Tyler Frank. And still no substitutions yet for the Xenia Scouts in this contest in this 5-3 lead. 1-0 pitch, and that one gets the bottom of the strike zone, even up at 1-1 to the center fielder, who we just saw, and a ball drop in front of him on the diving attempt. Turned into a single for Jonathan Bravo. 1-1 pitch. That one chopped over towards Lee Solomon at short. He's going to get past him into left field. First hit of the day for Tyler Frank. Starts off this 7th inning. First hit given up by Tony Campbell.
With the leadoff hitter reaching, that brings up the third baseman, number 13, Alex Turner.
So 1 on, no outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Scouts hanging on to this 2-run lead. Relief pitching has been a problem for the Scouts. They lost to the Southern Ohio Coppers 8-7 on Monday after giving 6 in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch to Turner in there for a strike.
And last time Alec Turner faced Tony Campbell, took him deep over the left field wall. That was back home at Grady's Field when these two teams played a doubleheader.
That was the first batter that Tony faced as a Scout. Second pitch in there for a strike, quickly working against Turner, 0-2. Giddings holding Frank on at first base. Thank you for joining Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, for Xenia Scouts baseball on this Thursday night. 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be looped towards center field, and Levi Gilcrease will put it away. Well, fake throwing to first, and we'll just hit the cutoff man, Lee Solomon, for 1 down now, as Turner drops to 1-4 for the afternoon.
So definitely a much better outcome than the last time Tony Campbell pitched to Alec Turner.
That's going to bring up Nick Rossetti, who is 0 for 3 against Q McGrath. We'll see how he does against Tony Campbell in his first at-bat. He fakes going to first to keep Tyler Frank honest on the bag. Now Nick Rossetti, the shortstop from Iowa, the Hawkeye, will get his first pitch from Campbell as that one curves a bit low and inside for a ball, 1-0. As Frank gets his lead. Scouts hanging on to this 5-3 lead with 1 out and 1 on here in the bottom of the 7th. That one in the turf. Good pickup from Zach Wiley.
Frank does have one stolen base on the season, so if he finds something that he can steal on a tip from Campbell, he could be on the move.
First time Rossetti's seen 2 balls. Now the first time he's seen 3. That's quickly 3-0 from Tony Campbell. Only thing is Zach Wiley behind the plate with that live gun for a right arm. 3-0 pitch. Gets the corner for a strike. Rossetti disagrees. We'll do it at 3-1 now. Campbell trying to work his way back. As we do see some activity in the Mariners bullpen. 3-1 pitch. That one's we ground towards Carnahan for the 5. Towards Binger for the 4. And not in time for the 3 of Kale getting. So a fielder's choice for Rossetti. The speedy shortstop. I think for most players that would have been a double play, but was able to beat it out. So that puts away Frank on the 5-4, but Rossetti reaches on the fielder's choice, but is still 0 for 4 today.
So that still extends his struggles against the Scouts. 0 for 8. He was 0 for 4 coming into the day.
Now brings up Robert Greenman, who was a big problem for Q McGrath. He's 1 for 1 today with 2 walks in his 3 plate appearances. First pitch to him, that one's going to be swung and fouled back towards us as I flinched a little bit as I saw the ball come at me and my life flash before my eyes. 0-1 now with 2 outs, 1 runner on, 5-3 score. Here comes the throw. He's going to be on the move, and Binger applies the tag, and another throw out from Zach Wiley as Rossetti is gunned down. Nice throw from the catcher. One of 3 catchers on the Xenia Scouts team, and I don't know if anyone has a stronger arm than Zach Wiley.
I think that might be the first time Rossetti has been caught stealing this season. Had 4 stolen bases coming into the day, and I'm pretty sure it's the first time he's been caught.
Just a beautiful throw from Wiley in the perfect spot, low and away off the bag. Binger did a great job of applying the tag to the sliding Nick Rossetti, and that ends the 7th inning. So in interesting fashion, but effective nonetheless, Tony Campbell for the 2nd straight time goes 1, 2, 3. And from 1, Katie Taylor Mustang to another, Miles Wright comes to the plate. Miles we saw back in the top of the 7th inning. But Jonathan Bravo was caught stealing after he had a little too much speed and slid off the second base bag, and then was gunned down from Greenman. Tag applied by Boss. So Miles Wright will go back to this here in the top of the 8th.
And coming into the game to pitch is Colton Bradley, and it took me an extra second to find that was because he's listed as an infielder. Comes to us from Central Michigan University. He's a junior, originally from Augusta, Michigan, and this is his 2nd season with the Mariners. And on the pitching side, this is only going to be his 2nd appearance. He pitched way back on July 1st against the Copperheads. One inning, gave up 1 hit, did have 3 strikeouts.
So 3 strikeouts in 1 inning, pretty impressive for Colton Bradley, who's going to be throwing to his Chippewa teammate behind the plate, and Robert Greenman. Scouts lead 5-3 here on Montgomery Field in Salina, Ohio, in the top of the 8th inning. As the sun has set and it's a dark blue sky in left field, it's a little bit of coloration in right field with some clouds in the distance. Beautiful night for some baseball as the Scouts go for win number 20 on the year. Trying to get back-to-back victories on the road. The Scouts are in game number 2 of a 3-game road trip. We'll be back here at Montgomery Field at 7:05 tomorrow.
Leading off the 8th inning for the Scouts, the right fielder, number 2, Miles Wright.
And here comes Miles Wright. I'll say it again, 2 for 2 today with 2 RBIs and was hit by a pitch at the stolen base and has scored.
And he was back up to the plate in the last inning before Bravo was caught stealing.
First pitch to Miles. right down the equator for a strike. 0-1 from Colton Bradley. The third righty we've seen of the day. He stands in the windup from the middle of the rubber. Now delivers. That one misses outside. 1-1 to Miles Wright.
Miles now 4 for 8 against the Mariners this season, including today's game.
1-1 pitch. That one's going to be driven towards right field and fouled out of play or in foul territory. I lost it. So 1-2 now to Miles Wright. Last time Miles Wright was 1-2. He was hit by a pitch back when Alex Flores was in the game. Flores went 2 innings in tonight's contest. After Radeski went 5, 1-2, and that one's going to be fouled right off the dish, so we'll do it again at 1-2. Here in the top of the 8th inning, no outs, no one on for the first batter, Miles Wright. Scouts leading 5-3. Colton Bradley now on the mound. Here's his 1-2. That one's going to be chopped towards Alec Turner at third. He's going to have to make a big throw in time to get out Miles Wright. Alec Turner with an absolute gun on third base. We've seen it a few times today, and the first time in the contest, Wright is put down.
And there was nothing else Miles could do. Hit that one on the line. He was able to turn on that one. Got it down that third base line, and Turner actually fielded it as if he were in foul territory and had to rocket that one over back to first, just like he did when Levi Gilcrease was up.
First pitch to Lee Solomon in there for a strike from Bradley. Solomon went for 3 today, scored twice and walked 0-1. And he pulls the bunt backwards to make it 1-1. We have seen a bunt single from Solomon. That was all the way back to start off this game in the top of the first inning. Bradley winds and fires that one. Foul backwards. Bradley came in today with 3 strikeouts on the season. Only 1 inning pitched. Has not allowed a run yet on the year and only his second appearance. Here comes the 1-2. That one gets Solomon. Now it's going to be strikeout number 4 on the year for Colton Bradley. He's got a lot of speed on that fastball. Just blows it by Lee Solomon, who's now 1 for 4. It's going to be the 7th strikeout between these 3 Mariners pitches on this Thursday matinee, as that one fouled out play by Christian Binger. Christian 0 for 1 today, but has been walked twice for now 28 times in the year, and was also hit by a pitch before he's caught stealing in the 5th. Next pitch is going to be fouled out of the glove of Greenman. Quickly down 0-2 is Binger. He's also caught stealing in the first inning when he was picked off from Greenman. Christian looking for that first hit of the day. He came in today with that 9-game hit streak and in danger of it now. 10-game, hit streak. And that one gets him swinging. So Christian goes down on strikes, 3 of them in a row. And it looks like that might end the hit streak of Christian Binger at 10 games.
We've seen stranger things happen, so there's still a chance Christian can go into the plate.
You're going to have to have a heck of a top of the 9th inning for Christian to get another chance. Like it has happened before. It's happened a few times this year. And Tony Campbell coming back on the mound here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Campbell, a reliever, doesn't usually see a lot of time. About 2 innings is his usual max, but here he's coming back for his 3rd inning.
Yeah, Tony Campbell's been very good today. Has unconventionally gotten each one to go down here in his 2 innings of work. They've gone down 1, 2, 3 in each of the innings. It was a little unconventionally in the 7th, as it was just because of a caught stealing from Rossetti. But nonetheless, Campbell has made quick work of his first 2 innings pitch, and he looks to do the same thing here in the bottom of the 8th inning, his 3rd inning of work.
Campbell came into this contest with an 8.48 ERA. And we saw him back on Tuesday in that loss against the Ironman. In that one, he went 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, no earned runs. Very solid in that contest. Most he's pitched this year is 2 2/3 in a game. That's when he relieved Q McGrath against the Cincinnati Steam. Gave up 4 earned runs in that contest. We'll see if he can break that season high and get 3 innings of pitching here. As Robert Greenman back up to the dish. Here comes the throw from the righty. That one's going to be driven towards left field, and Jonathan Bravo, and it goes over his head. He must have lost it in the lights. Now throws to second base on the one hop, and in there for a double is Robert Greenman. And just an unfortunate break for Tony Campbell as Jonathan Bravo just lost that one.
Nobody out.
Definitely unfortunate there. When Bravo out there left, it looked like he had just gotten under it, and then he just waved up like he lost it in the lights, and it's the only explanation because he had seemed to be camped out under it.
So now Greenman's 2 for 2 today with 2 doubles and 2 walks. But very fortunate on that one as they just went over the head of Jonathan Bravo. We've seen that once this year, back with Wyatt Hogan in Lima, Ohio. Bravo actually a infielder, shortstop at Texas Wesleyan, but has been playing left field pretty much all summer for the Scouts now. First pitch high and inside to Dalton.
Fan of the game real quick. Alex Jenkins is our Subway fan of the game. Alex Jenkins, our Subway fan of the game.
And Dalton Bollinger trying to hit home. Robert Greenman, that one inside for Campbell as well. 2-0 to the first baseman, who's 0 for 3 today. He's only the second hit given up by Campbell. That one's be chopped over towards shortstop. Solomon picks up on the one-hop, throws to first, and dug out by Cale Giddings, a member of the Lake Erie Storm, the Akron Zip transfer, on that lowly thrown ball by Solomon. So 1 down now here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Scouts still up 5-3. Mariners now with more hits than the Scouts with 8 compared to the Scouts 7.
And Jeff Paul is out there warming up for the Mariners so he could come in the top of the 9th inning.
And he's been out there for a long time. Lance saw him all the way back when Flores first came out to the bullpen. Matt Smith now at the plate. First pitch curves a bit low out of the zone. 1-0. Matt Smith, who's 2 for 3 today. Single, a double, and a strikeout to his name. One 1-0 with 1 out. 5-3. The Scouts are leading here in the bottom of the 8th inning after a leadoff double from Robert Greenman. That one curves and hits the outside corner for a strike. That one dropped off the table. One and one now with 1 out and 1 on. 2-run ball game. Campbell on the left side of the rubber. Here's the next pitch. That one's going to be blooped past Lee Solomon. Bravo picks it up and is going to send him home, and that was way off base. As Greenman's going to score. It looks like Bravo could have easily put away Robert Greenman at the plate, who was running home. No one was stopping him, but it was way off. And that RBI single from Matt Smith that he extended to then he got to second on the throw. He's going to make this a 1-run game of 5-4 with 1 out and a runner on second base in scoring position, as Matt Smith is now 3 for 4 today with an RBI.
So meeting on the mound right now with Coach Cates, the entire infield with Tony Campbell. Someone out there warming up in the bullpen, and I would have to venture that it's either Thomas Wanning or Joe Chasen, because those were listed as the only other available pitchers. Tony Campbell already came into the game as a reliever.
Yes. Thomas Wanning pitched yesterday 2 innings. I have to imagine Joe Chasen would be first up for the Scouts after Tony Campbell. It's been a rough bottom of the 8th inning for Jonathan Bravo. The double from Robert Greenman started when he lost the ball in the lights, and it dropped behind him on the routine fly ball, and then The throw home to try to get a play at the plate was way off. Zach White didn't have a shot at tagging Greenman out at the plate. Now Matt Smith on second. That one's we driven towards Cale Giddings on first. And he was able to tag the base himself for an uninsisted putout on one pitch to Ricky Silvestri. But that does advance Matt Smith to third.
Advance Matt Smith to third on the ground out from Silvestri, but there is two down as now Rappaport comes up to the plate. He's 0 for 3 today with 3 flyouts.
It is a 5-4 ball game, folks, with the tying run on third. First pitch to Rappaport is a bit high. That's the first ball he's taken of the afternoon. Q McGrath's 6th victory of the season is in the balance here. Tony Campbell on the mound. Next pitch. That one curves into the zone as it breaks low right into the center for a strike, 1-1.
And yet that inspired a quick meeting between him and Wiley, so it must not be quite seeing eye to eye on the pitches that Wiley's choosing, and that's a little strange seeing as it was after a strike. Usually you see those after balls.
I saw that earlier when Tony Campbell called for a meeting at the mound and Wiley called him off. Maybe a little miscommunication between the two. But we'll do it again, a 1-1 with 2 outs. And Matt Smith, the tying run on third base. Here comes the 1-1 from Campbell. That one's we chopped over towards Binger at second. Picks it up on the hop in. Gets him out. Down goes Rappaport. And Smith is stranded for the second time in scoring position today. Scouts exit the 8th inning with the lead intact, but not before some fortunate breaks in left field calls the Mariners to cut this lead to 1 as we head to the 9th inning.
Let's see, comes into pitch in a closing situation for the Scouts. They could potentially add on to this lead, but they will have the lead going into the bottom of the 9th inning. We're just getting set for the top of the 9th inning, and we will finally see Jeff Paul come into the game. He's a 6'3" from Ohio Dominican University. We've seen a couple guys from ODU this summer,
including yesterday's starter for the Lorain County Ironmen. That was Dan Whitaker. Excuse me, no, Dan Whitaker was from Ashland. It must have been 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago, Patrick Higley from the Lorain County Ironmen. Not yesterday, yes, Lorain County Ironmen.
So on the season, Jeff Paul 1-0, has not allowed a run. That's in 14 innings of work, 2 saves on the season, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, and he pitched against the Scouts in the game that the Mariners won. He went 2/3 of an inning and did get the save in that game, did have 1 strikeout.
So the apparent closer for the Grand Lake Mariners, Jeff Paul, in the game after Colton Bradley pitched his 2nd inning of the season and got 2 more strikeouts. So 2 innings, 5 strikeouts for Colton Bradley. Didn't allow a hit. Did a fantastic job. Now Jeff Paul comes in the game against the meat of the Scouts lineup. And Lance, who's coming up here in the top of the 9th inning?
Coming up for the Scouts here in the top half of the 9th inning, it'll be the meat of the Scouts order with the 2 Washburn Ichabods, the Washburn Ichabod duo, and Kyle Carnahan will lead things off. Then it'll be David Gaunt, and after him it'll be the first baseman from Lake Erie College, Cale Giddings.
It's a 5-4 ball game. We're heading to the top of the 9th inning. The Scouts score the first 3 runs in the contest in the 1st, 2nd, and 4th to go 3-0. Then a 3-run shot from Brad Boss even things up. Scouts were able to go back up ahead in the 6th when they put 2 runs on due to some control errors from new pitcher Alex Flores. And then in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Mariners fought back as Robert Greenman, who stands behind the dish right now, doubled and then was sent home for Matt Smith. Now here comes Kyle Carnahan with the game in the balance. First pitch for a strike from Jeff Paul. Paul, a sidearm pitcher, very similar to what we see from Thomas Wanning. He's another righty, the 4th of the day. That one misses way outside, gets past Greenman, hits the backstop, evened up to Carnahan. Now 1-1. Carnahan today 0 for 2, but with 2 RBIs. He got 1 on the sac fly and 1 on a walk in his last at bat. Now with 21 RBIs on the season. 1-1 count. Here's the throw from Paul. Swung on and missed. Big hack from Carnahan. Makes it 1-2 to Mr. Hot Corner. Would love to get his 7th homer of the year and tie up his Ichabod teammate David Gaunt for tops in the league. Next pitch is foul back, a little behind that one.
And that's exactly what that swing looked like he was trying to do. A big swing. Looked like he was trying to put that one over the left field wall and get his 7th home run of the season.
Goes 325 to left field here in Montgomery Field. He is sending that one 340. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Jeff Paul strikes out Kyle Carnahan, who is now 0 for 3 in the contest. First strikeout from Paul, 9th strikeout of the day between these 4 Mariners pitchers.
1 up and 1 down. That'll bring up the DH, number 17, David Gaunt.
And that brings up David Gaunt. David, who is 0 for 1 with a couple walks and a sac fly RBI back in the 6th. Struck out looking back in the first inning, looking for that first hit, first pitch. Outside corner for a strike. Jeff Paul absolutely dealing here in the top of the 9th inning. Here comes the 0-1. So on tip backwards, Gaunt got some of it, but now quickly down 0-2 to Paul, who has yet to give up a run this season. Gaunt came in today with 30 RBIs, now has 31. Tied for the league lead. Here's the 0-2. That one's going to be driven foul, out of play. Gaunt needs to straighten that one out. As Robert Greenman going out to speak to his pitcher, Jeff Paul, who just slipped off the mound a little bit. Laughing it off. I'll do it again. 0-2 to David Gaunt at the dish.
Also gives Paul a couple extra seconds to recover and make sure he's okay.
Scouts leading 5-4. They'll have the lead going to the bottom of the 9th. We'll see if who's going to come in. Most likely Tony Campbell will not go out for his 4th inning. We'll see. In my opinion, most likely Joe Chasen, the team's closer this year. 0-2 to Gaunt. Here's the throw from Paul. That one's low in the turf. 1-2 now. Joe Chasen's been the team closer this season. Very hit or miss pitcher. 1-2 now from Jeff Paul. And that misses a bit high. Just misses as it bounces off of the mitt of Robert Greenman for a ball. 2-2 to the designated hitter, David Gaunt.
Definitely a tough pitch to take on a 1-2 count. That one really could have went either way.
Paul throws from the sidearm. That one's going to be chopped over towards Alec Turner at third. Shows off the rocket and gets out David Gaunt, who gave everything he had on that one to try to beat it out. And that's been a tough task against Alec Turner.
2 outs and nobody aboard. That'll bring up the first base.
And here comes Cale Giddings, who is 1 for 4 today. An infield single back in the 5th. Spurned down by Nick Rossetti to stay in the field, but was able to beat out the throw. He also struck out and flew out twice. Jeff Paul still on the mound. Here's the first pitch to Giddings. That one misses outside. 1-0 to the big man.
Kale came into the day hitting .262. Did have 3 RBIs as well.
Now the 1-0. That one misses low. 2-0 now to Cale Giddings.
And I know this is getting ahead of ourselves, but wonder if the scouts would want to pinch run for Cale if he did get on base.
I would definitely think so. Most likely with Austin or 2-0, and that one misses low. 3-0. Scouts did score with 2 outs back in the 2nd inning. Only by Gilcrease came around an RBI single from Miles Wright twice. Wright singled home Gilcrease. 3-0 pitch. And that one misses low and outside, and Giddings will walk and head to first base. And we'll see if they keep him in there. It looks like they are, actually.
Well, Cates is walking
Well, maybe not.
the umpire, so I have to think that they're going to pinch run.
And it will be Joey Levitt. Joey Levitt, the pitcher, coming into the game. The 5th time this year he's pitch ran.
Pinch runner at first base for the Scouts, number 8, Joey Levitt. Levitt, pinch running at first base for Xenia.
So not an unfamiliar role for Joey Levitt.
2 outs, runner at
Coming in as a
first base
pinch
for
runner.
number 24,
Scouts trying to add an insurance run here in the top of the 9th inning. 2 outs. Joey Levitt pinch running on first. Zach Wiley at the dish. He's 0 for 3 today. Grounded out to Rossetti in short last time. Walked back in the 5th inning. Now Jeff Paul, after giving 4 straight balls to Giddings, we'll see what he does against Wiley. Wiley takes that first pitch right down the middle for a strike. Levitt gets a decent lead over there at first base. Paul looks over there. Now throws home. That one's going to be head towards right field. And it's going to be not put away. It falls off the glove of Rappaport. And Levitt is going to stay at third as Rappaport throws home. And it's going to be a hit given to Zach Wiley.
2 outs, runners at second and third. That'll bring up the center fielder for Xenia, number 6.
That's not what I had expected to happen after that one was popped up.
Not myself either, Lance. So now 2 on in scoring position. Wiley on second and Levitt on third. So is that a double for Wiley?
Yep.
So a double for Zach Wiley as Levi Gilcrease comes to the plate. 2 for 4 today.
And they just changed their mind to roll it in there.
So it is going to be rolled to air. I did think it fell off the glove of Rappaport. So Levitt on third. First pitch to Gilcrease. Low in the turf. Good grab by Greenman. 1-0. So a lucky break for Zach Wiley on the E9. The first error of this entire contest. Puts him on second. And the pitcher, Joey Levitt, who we haven't seen pitch in a long time, been dealing with rotator cuff soreness. This is his first game action in quite some time. Second pitch to Gilcrease. Pot towards center field. And Tyler Frank. And he'll put it away so the Scouts threaten. But 2 in scoring position. Gilcrease leaves them both stranded. As Joey Levitt comes across the plate for no avail. So after some drama to start the top of the inning, we're going to the bottom of 9. Scouts holding on to that lead 5-4. And of course, Joe Chasen comes into the game.
They did a great job. Mercer Health sponsoring our ball game tonight. A round of applause for them.
So unless we go to extras, that will end the 10-game hit streak of Christian Binger.
7:05 start. At the conclusion of the game, we'll have the Mariners.
And Jeff Paul still hasn't given up an earned run yet this year.
And Lincoln's going to come in to play first for KO.
So Lincoln Reed coming into the game after Joey Levitt replaced him as a pinch runner. Joe Chasen now on the mound for the Scouts as well. So Joe Chasen now in the game for the Xenia Scouts. Tony Campbell, absolutely phenomenal in 3 innings. Did give up 1 earned run. You can't really put that against Tony Campbell. That should have been out originally. That flew over the head of Jonathan Bravo. And then an errant throw home. Score that run. So it's going to go again an earned run against Campbell, but he did great in relief tonight.
Yeah, Tony Campbell did great in relief tonight with 3 innings. Gave up 3 hits, just the 1 run like you mentioned. No walks, just the 1 strikeout. That was in the 6th inning. And so Campbell did have himself a great day, and that would really help his ERA aside from that misplay out from Bravo out there in right. So it doesn't go down as an error in the scorebook, but was basically an error by Bravo out there in left as he misplayed it.
And now we see Joe Chasen on the mound. We saw him on Tuesday at home in that 2-3 loss against the Lorain County Ironman. He did go up an earned run in the top of the 9th inning of that game. eventually turned into the winning run as the Scouts did put one on the bottom of the ninth, but couldn't tie it up. The game before that, he pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 earned runs against Southern Ohio Copperheads. 6 runs total came across in that bottom of the ninth inning. Brad Boss up to the plate for the Mariners. First pitch from Chasen. Misses outside for a ball. 1-0 to the second baseman.
Brad Boss leads it off this inning for the Mariners, and they'll be back to the top of the order in Tyler Frank and Alec Turner.
Chasen has a sidearm delivery as well, not as elaborate as Thomas Wanning's. Here it comes. That one is popped up towards Lee Solomon in shallow left field, and he puts it away. So Brad Boss is 2 for 4 now. And the Scouts are 2 outs away from their second straight victory and Joe Chasen's 3rd save of the season as Tyler Frank's coming up to the plate. Frank is 1 for 4 today. Single last time, and it was put out on the 5-4 fielder's choice. That was grounded towards Lincoln Reed. Makes the play and tags the first base bag. So quickly 2 down here for the Mariners. Lincoln Reed, who came in for Cale Giddings, shows no rust. Comes in the game in a big spot. Tracks it down right on that first base foul line. And on first pitch swinging, Frank is put away.
Yeah, most of the time this season down at first base, it's been either Lincoln Reed or Cale Giddings. We've seen Wyatt Hogan get a little time over there. We saw Zach Wiley actually play first base for an inning or 2 earlier this season, but usually it's Lincoln or Cale down at first, and they've predominantly done a great job down there at first base.
And now comes Alec Turner with the game resting on his broad shoulders. First pitch inside for a ball. Scouts up 5-4, 1 out away from victory here at Montgomery Field. Alec Turner, 1 for 4 today, has homered against the Scouts this year. 1-0 count from the big righty, Joe Chasen from Hillsdale College. Second pitch misses high as well. 2-0 now to Turner. Alec has some power, only 325 to left field here at Montgomery Field. 2-0 pitch. That one finds the zone to make it 2-1. Chasen fighting back.
And Turner had a look on his face like, yep, that's the one I should have swung at.
Turner swings his bat, gets ready back in the box. Here's the 2-1 from Chasen. That one swung on and missed. Big swing from Turner. Actually tipped a bit of it. Even up 2-2. Chasen 1 strike away from getting that 3rd save and his 20th strikeout of the year. And most importantly, the Scouts' victory. 2-2 pitch. That one's hit towards right field. Miles Wright is on his horse, and he'll put it away, and that's going to do it. The Scouts get the victory, the 20th of the season. Joe Chasen goes 1, 2, 3 in the 9th inning as the last one flies out to Miles Wright. And the Scouts win by a score of 5-4.
Great job today for the Scouts. They did all the little things they needed to do early and then had a big 6th inning where they put 2 on the board. Great job from the Scouts.
Thank you for attending our ball game.
And the question is, who's our player of the game going to be?
And we're going to leave it up to color man Lance Morris, who's going to give us his call for player of the game.
Well, I think we could go with either of the guys from Katie Taylor and Miles Wright or Tony Campbell, so I give you a multiple choice. Who do you want to go with?
Oh, yeah, that's your job, Lance. You got it. You're color. You got to make those tough calls as a color man.
Well, if you want me to make the tough call, I'm going to go Miles.
You're going to go Miles? That means it's mustache time. I'm super excited. And are you texting Jeff right now?
Yep.
And we're texting our stats man, Jeff Connor, as looks like these guys are actually sharing the gospel tonight. We weren't sure if we were going to do this, so we're going to give you play-by-play accounts on the Scouts sharing the gospel. You'll be able to see it on the webcam. And it's Thomas Wanning starting it off, talking about what Athletes in Action is to the opposing team. We weren't sure if we're going to see this tonight or tomorrow. Of course, the Xenia Scouts, team of athletes in action, part of the Crew organization, Campus Crusaders in Christ. And now, this is the last time that the Scouts will be having a series against the Grand Lake Mariners. They share the gospel, give a testimony, which Q McGrath is doing right now to the opposing team. Let's see if I can move this a little more into frame. That didn't help anything. I should have left it where it was. There we go. That looks a lot better. So if Q's family is watching at home, I don't know if they're still with us here. But the Scouts, they came and saw Q back. The first day was when he pitched against the Steam, so that was on Saturday. I'm not sure if they're still here or not. I think they might still be in attendance.
They said they were going to be in town for a while, I think.
Yeah, so they're most likely here at the park. I haven't seen them tonight, but if not, if they're watching at home for some reason, you'll get to see your son giving his testimony after getting his 6th victory of the season. Scouts winning 5-4. Miles Wright will be our player of the day. He had a fantastic game. He went 2 for 3. 2 RBI singles that brought home Levi Gilcrease. Had a stolen base and scored after he was hit by a pitch in the 6th. And we're super excited to have Miles Wright as our player of the game because the Wright family a few weeks ago sent us a couple fake mustaches for our player of the game in a care package. Miles' family back home in Katy, Texas. And I'm awaiting to don these ever since it first happened. So as you look on the webcam and see the Scouts sharing the gospel, Q McGrath giving his testimony currently after a 5-4 victory here at Montgomery Field. Scouts came in today 3rd in the league standings, trailing the Hamilton Joes. Lance Morris